So Bernie back out for the third series. They got a field goal the last time out. They went 3 and out the first time. And if nothing else, they've been giving him time to throw, Jeff.
They have. I mean, you look at the great offenses in the Division I level.
Play action. Bernie pulls it down. He's looking down the field. He's got a man, and it's complete. Inside the 20-yard line, they flip the field. Marquise Ashley, the freshman out of Norco, stretches the field to the 16-yard line. 57-yard completion from a couple of local guys, Bernie to Marquise Ashley.
And talking about, he's got all the time in the world in the pocket. You look at teams, Alabama, Clemson, those quarterbacks have all the time in the world. That's why they're so good. Bernie, untouched, throws a perfect strike down the middle of the field.
Under 6 minutes to play in the first quarter. Red zone opportunity for RCC. That's the give to Dean Connors. Connors from Marietta Valley High School surges forward inside the 15 to the 14, about 3 yards on the play. Hiram DeFries with the tackle, the freshman from Honolulu. Hiram's family, great football lineage. I believe it's his grandfather. It was a gentleman named Hiram DeFries who in the 90s was an assistant coach for Bruce Rollins at Mater Dei. Used to fly in from Honolulu for the weekends to coach the Mater Dei Monarchs. 2nd and 7. Here's Connors. Finds some space. Spins inside the 5, and he's pulled down there. We'll get to the 2-yard line. 12-yard pickup for Dean Connors.
And watch Connors, though. He takes a hit and immediately does a reverse pivot. Perfect play.
James McDonald was the first man there, and then some buddies showed up. Watch Retzlaff to the top of your screen right now for RCC. 2nd down from the 2. Connors with the pivot, but down he goes. Isaiah Sierra is there for the tackle, but nice job by Jordan Dewson. Dewson, the sophomore out of Oceanside, with the contain. Watch it initially. He's trying to change direction as Connors. Watch Dewson, 57, kind of contains him there, and then it's cleaned up by Sierra. So player down on the play. We have a timeout on the field, and the offense working for RCC. I know they had the initial 3 and out, but I'm buying what Tom Kraft was talking about with the big boys up front, Jeffrey.
I'm telling you, Bud Bernie has yet to be even grazed. He's out there able to just pick his reads, and, man, big jumbo line. Hey, you know what? We need to talk about water rebates. In the city of Riverside, we have water efficiency has become a way of life in Southern California, and Riverside Public Utilities offers a variety of rebates to help customers lower their water use and save money. Simple changes can make a huge difference. Visit riversidepublicutilities.com/rebates to learn more.
The player down looks like Kyle Scott. Scott's a freshman from Temescal Canyon, Lake Elsinore area, played both football and basketball at Temescal Canyon, played football for our buddy Phil Cohen. Phil Cohen's still the head coach over there at Temescal.
I just want to know what he played in basketball. Power forward?
Yeah, he was a 5 or 4 or 5.
Big 5. Large 5. He could play for Phil Matthews out here with the men's team.
I'm sure Phil Matthews has inquired about it if he played for Temescal, man. 2-yard loss on the play. Moore in motion. They'll give instead to Connors. Connors is bottled up as he surges towards the 2-yard line. Owens was the first man there. Coming across, helping out. Timothy Jones was there as well. No, I was wrong. That's James McDonald was the first guy there. Wow. McDonald got down low. I was looking up high. Thanks for the replay. So here's Retzlaff to the top of your screen. Devin Gitchaway to the bottom of your screen. In the near slot is Ty Moore. In the far slot, Marquise Ashley. Connors the tailback. Play clock runs out, and it'll back it off 5 yards. It'll be a 3rd and 7. So 3rd down coming up now Chavez has already hit from 53, so you got 3 points in your back pocket, Jeff. But
got to go for the score.
You're in the red zone. You want 7, man. Last year in the red zone, they were a 79% team, touchdown 66% of the time. Bernie on third down, flips it into the end zone, nearly an acrobatic interception, just burns the down. Chasing him was Shane Robertson, the freshman from South Orange County out of San Juan Hills High. He's also a baseball player as well as a football player at San Juan Hills. And here comes Ricardo Chavez. Corvin Fegans nearly came up with the interception on the pylon. Fegans also a Honolulu product, but he's from St. Louis High School. Chavez out of the hold of James Odom. And that's just shooting fish in a barrel for him. I mean, he already made a 53-yarder. He scoffs at that one.
You know, I'm going to say this. It sounds really silly. But, people watch movies like Forrest Gump and they cry, right?
Mm-hmm.
I watch Kickers and I cry.
Really?
I do. It makes me happy. It's a happy cry.
Good kickers, right?
Yeah.
That's like a notebook cry.
That's right.
Watching a bad kicker is like a disaster cry,
That's true.
right?
That's true. Yeah, I don't cry in movies. I only cry when I see kickers kick. Just like it's an art form, my friend.
Yeah, it's interesting. It is, we joke about it, but it's a skill.
It is.
How many college games do you watch that are decided by kickers now? So many are decided by kickers. And, our friends who maybe like to put some speculation in the desert, let's just say. Man, those guys always are talking about kickers.
That's true.
Not you and I.
No.
Other people that we know. So Ricardo Chavez tees it up. Deep for Saddleback Darius Maxwell. And Wimber. This is Maxwell backing off. It's over his head. Another touchback. So far, Ricardo Chavez, he's the star tonight. 2 field goals, a punt, two kicks into the end zone.
Do they have a JC Heisman Trophy winner right there? He could be our guy.
Definitely a showcase game. If you're RCC, obviously you're happy you got the lead, but keep in mind this Saddleback team last week, they rolled up 544 yards, and they put 58 points on the board against Glendale, and they can do it in a hurry. It was a close game early. Saddleback, as I mentioned, they scored on the first play from scrimmage, 73-yard run by Andrew Wimmer, but then Glendale bounced back. It was a 14-6 game, and then the Bobcats just ran away with it. Nash to throw. Complete to the outside to Jamari Farrell. Incomplete, excuse me. Farrell last week had 40 yards on 7 carries and a touchdown. Mission Viejo High School product, 2nd and 10 coming up.
That's a pretty good high school program.
Yes, here, buried to the near side, near slot, Samuel Hicks. Farrell is the setback. False start. Saddleback running the pistol. Mentioned Kerry Crabb, the first-year head coach of the Bobcats. He was on Mark McElroy's staff for 15 years. He himself is Saddleback grad, and he's worked on both sides of the ball on offense and defense. So mark off the penalty, and it's 2nd and 15. Berry in the near slot, Hicks in the near slot. Berry split out to the near side. Here's the throw. That's complete to Coates. Coates over the 30, down at the 33-yard line. First man there to make the tackle for RCC, DeMonte Peoples. So a 13-yard pickup.
Yeah, the Bobcats throwing a lot of cross-field patterns here.
Got good receivers. Coates to the top of your screen. Then right next to him is Zachary Roebuck. Here comes Hicks in motion. Back to throw. Nash gets away. Makes some yardage on his own, about 5 yards on the scramble, enough for a first down. He'll get up to 38 and up move the sticks.
Got something out of nothing there. Great defense by Riverside. Missed him there, but keep him from throwing the ball down the field. But smart play, though, from the young quarterback.
Last week, RCC defensively, they were able to control the line of scrimmage and get pressure with 3. Early going, but it's not quite working out yet. Saddleback seems to be up to the challenge. Here's the give to Jamari Farrell dancing. He'll traverse over the 40-yard line, maybe 3 yards on that play. Farrell was a big-time player in high school for Chad Johnson at Mission Viejo, but he broke his leg his sophomore year. Had a couple of injuries. That's why he's had to go the JC route. But you can see the moves. He's very shifty, stays very low to the ground, and he's very tough to bring down. They gave him 2, marked at the 40, 2nd and 8. Nash, right, in trouble, gets rid of it. Bearing down on him for RCC. It's like he turned the corner, and there was Rayshawn Gilmore standing. And we talked earlier how much Coach Kraft likes Rayshawn Gilmore, and this is probably why. Just rangy, athletic. Look at him right there, doesn't over-pursue.
Yeah, they sent that 4th. Started with 3, ran that 4 in.
So Coach to the top of your screen. Hicks right next to him and Roebuck to his left. Buried to the bottom of the screen for Saddleback. 3rd down. Nash throws. In and out of the hands of Samuel Hicks. I was ready to give him the completion. Hicks incomplete. 4th down.
Yeah, there were 4 Tigers right there.
Another punt for Saddleback. I believe this is already the 3rd punt for the Bobcats. They only punted twice all last week against Glendale. Ty Moore stands at the 30-yard line to receive the kick. Widmer boots it at the 25 is Moore. Up to the 40, flag on the play, up to the 40-yard line. Yeah. So a 15-yard return. It's a 35-yard kick and a 15-yard return, but let's sort out the laundry, Jeffrey.
Yeah, there were 2 flags at 2 different spots. It's going to be against Riverside, I believe.
So the penalty will take it back just outside the 30-yard line. So J.J. Tucker to the bottom of your screen, just to his left is Jamal Houston, and that's Ty Moore next to him. Instead, the give. Running up, surging up to the 34 is Connors. Let's see where they mark it. They'll mark to the 35, so 4-yard pickup on the play for RCC. Under a minute to play here in the first quarter.
I'm impressed, though, with Saddleback. They're not getting pushed around as much as I thought they would.
Instead, that was Lawrence Starks on the carry. So Starks with 4 yards. Running back by committee for RCC. 2nd down, Starks again, not so lucky this time. Riding over the top of him to make the tackle for Saddleback was Angelo Rooks, and then he got some help. There was a hit that came in. Now watch this. Some people felt this was a helmet-to-helmet, but Rooks kind of already had him. I believe that's Isaiah Sierra who got in there to try to help out.
Yeah, it hit the shoulder pad.
3rd and 5 from the 36. Flag comes in. Who jumped? Who drew somebody off? The officials will caucus behind the Tigers. Bud Burney trying to listen in what's going on. So that was called on RCC. Jamal Houston lined up offside. End of the first quarter with a 6-0 RCC lead. So the title defense begins with a 6-0 first quarter lead. The star of the first quarter was our friend Ricardo Chavez, Jeff.
Ricardo Chavez already has our MVP of this game so far. But, hey, I have a question for you, Gazal.
Sure.
You know, you got a house, and I've got 3 kids and dogs and everything. I got a lot of trash at my house.
Mm-hmm.
And the city of Riverside right now, they're picking up all the trash. Caltrans is partnering with the city of Riverside to collect the public's trash and unwanted items on Saturday, September 25th from 9 to 3. Please, no hazardous waste, paint, solvents, batteries, home remodel or demo waste, electronics, flammables, petroleum products, aerosols, or compressed gases. None of those things you can throw away. Everything else you can. All loads must be tied or secured so they will not be accepted. The event will be held at the Caltrans maintenance station located at 1091 Everton Place at Riverside, California, 92507. I got to get rid of so much of my stuff, but I have so many compressed gases. Can't get rid of those things.
The good people at Caltrans. Well, good news for RCC. Kyle Scott back on the field. He's back out to start the second quarter after the penalty. It's a 3rd and 9. Bernie looking, now in trouble, trying to run with it, and maybe up to the line of scrimmage. Bernie tackled by Keegan Netherton. Netherton, the linebacker for Saddleback, a freshman from J. Sarah in South Orange County. A loss of 1 yard on the play. You know, Bud Burney was the leading rusher in the game against Long Beach City for RCC, Jeff. He had 16 carries for 56 yards.
He took a shot there. Looked like he got kneed in the thigh.
So James McDonald stands at the 35-yard line of Saddleback awaiting for the punt from our friend Ricardo Chavez. Ricardo booms this one, and it bounces at about the 32. And backing off is McDonald. As a discretion, the better part of valor for him. It's going to roll inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. So a 56-yard kick for Chavez as it's dead at the 14. That's where Saddleback will start it off.
Still the MVP of this game.
So far. A lot of time to play, though, Jeff. A lot of time to play. Always fun to be back out here at Wheelock State. It looks wonderful tonight.
Oh, it's great.
And we got a good night tonight, too. It's kind of cool.
It feels like fall.
Yeah. Football weather.
We've been playing on Mars for the last month. It seems like it's been so darn hot.
Here's the give to Wimmer. Runs ahead. Purcell was there. Wimmer up to about the 15-yard line. Nathan Bolton also helped out on the tackle there for RCC. So gave him 2 yards to the 16, 2nd and 8 coming up. Back to throw. Complete to about the 22-yard line. Complete to Yasir Berry. Carlton Johnson from the Rancho Verde High on the coverage for RCC. First down is just about over the 24 to the 25. So they marked to the 21, so 3rd down coming up. Jet sweep. This is Samuel Hicks. Can he turn the corner? He cannot. Kylan Ross steps up to make the play. One of the returning starters from that national championship defense. Got some help from Carter as well. Watch Ross fly in here. Bada bing, bada boom. And a 4th down. Ross did a great job there stringing that play out, Jeff.
Yes, he did.
So Moore at midfield. Widmer punt number 4. And we're barely in the second quarter. Widmer boots it. Tracking back is Moore, and that'll take a Saddleback bounce. That's going to look good on the stat sheet. That'll roll dead at the 11-yard line. 69-yard punt. Flips the field.
He might be their MVP. If these guys are this good, how good are the D1 guys?
I know. These are two good teams right now.
Yeah.
Remember, they played in 2019. I believe it was the finale, the regular season finale at Saddleback. And RCC won rather decisively, and they rolled to the state title and were eventually dubbed national champions by JC Gridiron.
Have they ranked second this year, correct?
Yeah, they were in the top 5. So from the 11, 6-0 RCC. And the play clock runs out. So a 5-yard mark-off on the delay of game on RCC puts the ball back on the 6. Play action from Bernie. Eludes the rush down the field. Incomplete.
No call there. It looked like he was grabbed.
Mason Young on the coverage. The freshman from Cottonwood, Utah. Ty Moore, the intended receiver. There was some rumbling about that, but I like when there's a little hand
Let
fighting.
him play.
Let
I agree.
him play. Well, that call it went against RCC, so people are upset, but I don't think either guy really gained an advantage on that play. 2nd and 15. Here's the completion to the outside. And how do you do? Gitchaway makes the catch. Stephen Gashikin makes the tackle. He's the freshman from Kamehameha, Hawaii. Pukalani High School. Couple of Hawaiians playing for Saddleback. Mahalo.
What's the big high school that in Hawaii? That
Well, there's
all the
Punahou is a
quarterbacks-
big one, and then St. Louis. You know,
St.
those
Louis, yes.
kind of the two. St. Louis. Marcus Mariota played at St. Louis. Tua Tagovailoa played at St.
right.
Louis. 3rd down coming up. 3-yard pickup on the play. Trips to the near side for RCC. See if they get the protection. Good blitz pickup by Kinslow. Moore turned around, incomplete. Kyle Thomas was on the coverage there. Great job by Kinslow picking up the blitzer there. You know, he learned that skill playing for our friend Matt Logan.
That's right.
At Centennial.
The Evil Empire. He's the only guy I know that embraces evil.
Did they have it on the inside
They
of their
did.
collars a couple years ago? Evil Empire?
He gave me a shirt once that had it on the
Okay.
inside of my collar as
Yeah.
well. But they had it, on their uniforms. It says the Evil Empire.
So line is the 9, and this is be a good opportunity for Saddleback. Chavez to punt. This is Berry back to receive. Chavez with a good kick, a little short. Running up and catching it is Berry. It'll be to the 35-yard line. So 29-yard kick unofficially, and good field position for Saddleback. That's like seeing Bob Cousy miss a free throw. But let's see the defense match it up. You ever see the movie Blue Chips?
Of course.
So there's a scene where he plays the athletic director, Bob Cousy, and he makes
right.
a bunch of free throws.
That's right. He was in that movie. That's
First and 10 from the 35. Nash throwing to the outside. It's complete to about the 30-yard line. That's complete to Yasir Berry. Carlton Johnson on the coverage. Well, they're shooting the scene where he makes all these free throws, and apparently he was really making them.
Really?
So the director told the camera, just keep rolling. I think he hit like 47 in a row before he missed. 5-yard pickup, make it 2nd and 5. Nash pump fake. Under pressure, completes to Wimmer at the 33. Wimmer trying to get outside, which he does. Picks up the first down over the 35.
Yeah, Blue Chips is living out in real life now, isn't it?
It seems tame now.
Yeah.
No, you're paying him a couple bucks. So what?
What's the quarterback at Alabama making? Like $2 million a year?
In endorsements, right?
Yeah, that's right.
From the 22. Give up the middle. Wimmer traverses up to the 18, 4-yard pickup on the play.
I was watching a football game today with my dad. Went over to his house, and he did say something funny. I go, Dad, that guy's making like $2 million a year. And he goes, does he live in the dorms?
There you go.
If you're his roommate in the dorms, can I borrow a couple bucks?
2nd and 6 from the 18. Looking at Berry incomplete and out of his hands. Now, I'll say this. Nash was looking at him the whole way.
Yes,
so he was open. That was part of it. But sometimes you do that and you invite the jumping of the route. Yeah, he got past Johnson, just couldn't hold on to it. 3rd down coming up. Throw might have been a little behind him, but,
I thought Jalen Carter was going to jump that gap there, and he didn't see it whiz right by him.
Berry in motion. Nash throws. Complete. Down inside the 5-yard line with the completion. Zachary Roebuck, the freshman from Illinois. Graduate of Rich Central High School. They'll call it down at the 3-yard line, a 15-yard pickup, 1st and goal.
Bringing the goal line defense, the big fellas.
Double tight set. Here's the give. Oh, man.
Holy smokes.
Big hit from Noah Purcell. That was like the scene in Godfather 2 where Danny Aiello says, Michael Corleone says hello.
Wow, look at this right here.
Noah Purcell, hello.
It looked like he was hitting the sled.
Anthodius Ashley had the carry for Saddleback. Nash behind center. He'll throw. Chasing, throwing, tipped, incomplete. Intended for Bowden Groen in the corner of the end zone. Purcell was over there, too. Get another look at the play, Jeff.
Oh, man. I mean, great blocks. I mean, it's just right there, a little low, but I like how Riverside, though, doesn't give up on the play. It's tipped, and everybody's still trying to get it.
That's a good play.
Great play.
That's a great play on the outside. Nathan Bolton making the play for the Tigers. 3rd down. Nash, Salahuddin in pursuit. Talib Salahuddin makes the play at the 10. 4th down coming up.
That's just a true athlete right there. Look at him run.
That's the scary part. That's the Miami in the 80s when Jimmy Johnson took all these running backs and made them into linebackers. Right. They're big athletic guys, and man, I got to run away from them on defense now.
Oh.
So here's a field goal attempt coming up. Connor Grace, the freshman from Crean Lutheran in Irvine. Hold is down, kick is up, and he sees Ricardo Chavez making all these field goals and goes, hey, I got a leg too, 27-yard field goal. Halves the lead for RCC. So Connor Grace, a 25-yard field goal last week. He adds a 27-yarder to his ledger, and it's a 6-3 ball game. So the punt by Widmer that flipped the field results in points for Saddleback as the defense holds, and then the short punt by the Tigers, and they get 3 on the board.
I mean, how many points are these guys? I mean, the national championship team averaged a zillion points.
I mean, last year, so in 2019, Saddleback averaged 46 points a game, and RCC averaged nearly 50 points. So these guys were throwing up 50 burgers every week, and now it's a 6-3 game. How times have changed.
The kickers.
Yeah, it's going to come down to a kicker.
When was the last time we saw a game where there was no touchdowns?
Wow.
I don't think we've seen one.
Not at RCC.
Never at RCC. You have to go back to when it turned into Riverside RCC.
Didn't we have like a 3-0, like Arlington? Didn't they play like a 3-0 game a few years ago, high school?
Yeah,
game?
but I fell asleep during that game, so I couldn't tell you. I don't remember it. But yes, we did, I believe.
So Grace booms it deep. Oh, that's fumble. That's a live football. Picks it up at the 10, 15. Gets to the outside to the 30. And over the 35, Lawrence Starks averts disaster.
You heard a gasp from everybody in the crowd, including us a little bit. Man, what made something?
So Starks scoops it up at the 7, about a 31-yard return to the 36. That's first and 10 for RCC. They lead it 6-3. 8 minutes to play in the second quarter. I'm Ghazal Hassan. He's Jeff Gorham. That was a good play that he made to scoop it up because Juan Lua was bearing down. Sophomore from Palm Desert for Saddleback. First look at Walter Brooks to the top of your screen, the wide receiver. The give up the middle, our old friend Elijah Bennett, the sophomore from Claremont, surges over the 40-yard line, or up to the 40, 3-yard pickup there. From the 39, 2nd and 7. 3-man front for Saddleback. James Odom in at quarterback. Launches it down the field, nearly caught. I believe that was Brooks on the back end. Instead, the intended receiver was Rashawn Lacey out of Esperanza in Orange County. 3rd and 7 coming up.
In Esperanza, they beat Ramona in the CIF championship.
2019 championship. So James Odom, the freshman, 6'3", out of Grossmont High School in the San Diego area, was a big-time player in high school. Odom nearly picked. Intended receiver was J.J. Tucker. Coming in and making the play, Brian Sanders for Saddleback. There's Sanders. Nearly comes up with it 4th down. We'll see Ricardo Chavez. So after the field goal, the defense holds for Saddleback. Yasir Berry on the 20-yard line of the Bobcats. Better kick from Chavez, and a fair catch called by Berry at the 25-yard line. So a 36-yard kick, no return, and Saddleback will start from the 25-yard line. Now, we're calling the Saddleback team the Bobcats. That's the new nickname.
That's right.
For many years, they were the Gauchos, and in February of 2021, there was a movement to replace the mascot, and a vote came in May, and then on May 21st, they unveiled the new mascot, which was the Bobcats. So now Saddleback is the Bobcats, no longer the Gauchos. Remember, they used to have the G on the helmet, like the old Green Bay Packers logo, and no longer. They now have an S, kind of like Stanford.
The Bobcats. I saw a Bobcat once in my back door when I moved in my house. I wanted to eat my cat.
At Stately Gorham Manor? Seriously?
Yeah, there was a Bobcat back in my... I said, that's a large cat. That's not a real cat. That's a Bobcat.
21-yard line. Here's the run by Ashley. Anthodius Ashley is spun down over the 25 to the 26. Ashley from Fairfax High in Phoenix had 6 rushes last week for 29 yards, scored a touchdown. Sophomore at Saddleback in Mission Viejo. 2nd and 6 from the 27. Nash under pressure. Nash trying to buy time down the field, looking for the tight end, incomplete. Play on the defensive side. That's Oyewale. He was looking down the field. The receiver, Bryce Kreider, was the intended receiver. Bringing back the tight end is head coach Kerry Crabb. We've seen Bowden Groen a little bit earlier, the tight end out of Mater Dei. Under 7 minutes to play here in the first half. 6-3. RCC leads 3rd down situation. Nash, 3rd and 4, over the middle. In and out of the hands. He had it and he dropped it. Kylan Ross on the coverage. That was Kalen Coates, the sophomore out of De La Salle. Storied program in Northern California.
Yeah, that definitely would have been a touchdown.
Coates last week had a 44-yard touchdown reception. Probably was thinking about that. Couldn't quite reel it in. Penalty decline by RCC, and the punt team comes on in the person of Dylan Widner for Saddleback. Rolandis Whitener will get our first look at him, our old friend from Arcadia High School. He'll return the punt. Didn't he have a great playoff game we saw him play against Hillcrest? So back at the 34 of RCC is Rolandis Whitener Jr. Widner kicking. That's not Whitener, sorry. That was a 1. It's a 7. Up to the 50-yard line on the return. Marquise Ashley.
Out of Norco.
So Netherton with the tackle for Saddleback, and good field position for RCC as we get to the end of towards the end of the first half. Penalty going to be marked off, though, on RCC. Saddleback won the toss and deferred. They'll get the ball to start the second half as Tom Kraft calls the troops together.
Coach Kraft's looking. I think the 18 months off did him well. Look at him, looking good.
Nice and relaxed. He won't be relaxed much longer.
No, he's. Come on, let's be honest. Do you really think he's relaxed?
I do. Odom with the give. This is Connors. Finally brought down at the 30-yard line. Timothy Jones on the tackle. Got a little help from Owens. 4-yard pickup. Connors in motion. Empty set. Odom with a little dump off to Connors. Eludes the first tackle. Trying to get outside to the 40. Outside of the 45 into Saddleback territory. And he sidles out of bounds at the 44-yard line. Check that 46-yard line. 24-yard pickup on the little swing pass from Odom to Connors.
Connors, the favorite target. Nice play getting outside there. And then it's just a foot race to get out of bounds. Just how many yards he got? 24 yards on that carry.
From the 46 of Saddleback. Throw to the numbers, a little bit high over Devin Gitchaway, incomplete. Got a little tap after the play, 2nd and 10 coming up. National championship for RCC in 2019. Should note, the Bobcats have won 3 as well. Another dump off to Connors. 45, dives forward to the 40. So it'll be 3rd and 4 coming up. Saddleback won in 85 and 92 under head coach Ken Swearingen. And then under Bill Coonerty in 96.
Yeah, roughing the passer. He literally undercutted him on the throw and just threw him for a loop. Literally.
So it went to the 40. The 15-yard mark-off will take it to the 25-yard line of Saddleback. Mentioning Coach Coonerty, he passed away last fall. Passed away in October of 2020. Longtime fixture in South Orange County. 1st and 10 from the 25. To the end zone, incomplete. Looking for Retzlaff. And Retzlaff slow to get up.
Retzlaff, a very good high school player.
Corona Centennial. Actually, was a quarterback at Claremont before he transferred.
He's a good friend of the David Patrick family. Came in to be a quarterback, ended up being a playmaker. Nonetheless, for Centennial, but
talking about Coach Coonerty, passed away in October. He was only the coach, I believe, for 3 or 4 years. He won that national championship, had to retire for health reasons, but then kind of ended up becoming, he was a local broadcaster down in South Orange County, worked with one of my mentors, Kevin Turner, and then he was also he started the West Coast Quarterbacks School along with the late Jim Fossil, who was the head coach of the Giants for some years. And then, if you watched Hard Knocks this year, Coach Fossil's son, John Fossil, is on the staff of the Dallas Cowboys with Mike McCarthy. So Coach Coonerty, again, just such a fixture in South Orange County in the football community. I'm just always willing to help anybody and very tied closely to Saddleback College for many years. He coached golf there as well.
They have a great golf facility on the campus at Saddleback.
They do. So it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 25. Odom into the air. Complete inside the 20-yard line. That's J.J. Tucker, the freshman from Narbonne in L.A. Had 2 catches last week against Long Beach City College. He started his career at Oregon, Jeff.
Really?
Was a redshirt in 2018 for the Ducks. 7-yard pickup. They marked it to the 18. I just like that he calls himself JJ. Hey, Juwan J.J. Tucker. That's just what Coach Kraft called him. I shouldn't say. I don't know if he calls himself that, but Coach Kraft mentioned.
Is he Kid Dynamite?
I'm waiting to drop a Kid Dynamite. You know it. Connors in the backfield with James Odom, the second quarterback of the evening for RCC. Odom's got time. Now he'll step up and run, and goes down at the 20. That heat-seeking missile from behind Netherton all over the place. Keegan Netherton.
Almost took him to the nether world with that hit.
Jay Serra, San Juan Capistrano. They're playing an NCAA Division I basketball tournament at Jay Serra this year around Thanksgiving.
They are.
Yeah.
Isn't our old friend, one of the former UCR assistant coaches, is the head basketball coach at Jay Serra?
Justin Bell, I believe he's at Santa Margarita.
No, there's another guy.
Oh.
The guy.
Oh, Keith Wilkinson.
Keith Wilkinson. That's right. I knew you'd know his name.
Maybe that's how they did it. Yeah, maybe that's how they worked it out. So now the penalty against RCC, the 15-yard mark-off back to the 36.
Oh, he's going to do it again. Oh.
So this would be a 53-yarder in the other direction for Chavez.
Give me the popcorn. This is great.
Now, Saddleback did block 2 kicks last week. They were both PATs. He's got the distance. Or does he? Yes.
Hey.
2 50-plus yard field goals for Ricardo Chavez today. 53 to one end of the stadium, 54 to the other end of the stadium. Eat your heart out, Frank Corral.
Oh, man, Frank Corral. Who? I have tears coming out of my face right now. This is NFL stuff right here.
I'll tell you what, he's putting some good film up, is Chavez.
Holy smokes.
The Inland Empire in the last, decade, maybe 2 decades, has really become a hotbed with the emergence of all these teams that have started to play against, all of Southern California as far as recruiting ground for Division I and, beyond. And I would guess, listen, it's one game, right? What's the old Parcells run? Don't put him in Canton just yet, but if I'm a college coach, I'm at least putting Chavez on my list, right? Isn't he a guy you watch?
He's on the top of the list, for God's sakes. It's my new favorite player. I'm going to go buy his jersey and see if they got it in the student store. I'm all about number 10 now.
Here's the return for Saddleback. This is Darius Maxwell. And Maxwell up to the 25-yard line.
And there's going to be a hold, looks like.
So Maxwell up to the 25, flag on the play, as you heard Jeff say. I believe that was Desi Gonzalez on the, maybe a block in the back.
That's usually on a kick, usually. There it is.
So 4:12 to play in the first half. It's been a battle of the place kickers so far. Connor Grace with the 3 for Saddleback. Ricardo Chavez with 9 for RCC. Both defenses standing up against each other. This is a Gaucho team. I said it. This is a Bobcats team that put up 58 points last week, Jeff. So from the 10, Nash looking downfield, incomplete. Yasir Berry, the intended receiver. Jalen Carter, the freshman out of Rancho Cucamonga High, there on the coverage. You see C.J. Stroud earlier today playing for Ohio State against Tulsa? All these Inland Empire quarterbacks littered all through the NCAA.
Our guy Tanner McKee last week had the coach at USC fired.
Second down, Nash in trouble and goes down at the 15-yard line, making the play for RCC, Elton Adigwu. Adigwu, the sophomore out of Etowanda High. Third down from the 16. First down up to about the 20. That's the line to get. Nash throwing, complete. That's the first down. Complete to Andrew Wimmer. Kind of been his safety net.
We haven't had, I don't see the cannon here tonight.
That's right. You don't.
No, and it's only usually on touchdown, so maybe it's somewhere.
They marked him out at the 19. He's short of the first down.
Yeah.
And a timeout called by head coach Kerry Crabb. First season as the head coach. He's been on the staff for 15 years. Mark McElroy's been the head man since 1999. He stepped aside after the 2019 season. Very successful junior college head coach. Started his career he was a high school coach at San Clemente. And he implemented an offense that's, pretty common now, basically the spread, but they called it the fly.
That's right. You were telling me.
It was so cool. And his big, kind of made his bones. He had a big win against Mater Dei in 95. Mater Dei had won in 94. They'd won the CIF. And I think even then, it was back when USA Today did a high school poll, and they were the #1 USA Today team. And they'd won, I think, 20-some games in a row. And they went to San Clemente, and San Clemente knocked them off. That was back when they played in the old South Coast League with a bunch of South Orange County schools.
And they called it the fly?
The fly. And then Trevor Inslee was the guy, played later at Nevada, and then he was in the NFL for a minute with the Colts. I think he got to play with Peyton Manning. I'm not sure. The timetable might be a little bit off. Fourth down coming up from the 18. So Saddleback exhausts their second timeout here as we have 3:23 to play in the second quarter. It's 9-3 lead for RCC. It's been a battle of the place kickers.
I love it. I do like to see a guy scoring touchdowns, though. But I do like place kickers.
A lot of football to play. Marquise Ashley deep for RCC. Dylan Widner to punt it away. Widner is earning his scholarship today, or his money today. Shanks it. Hits at the 28 and bounces out of bounds. They mark it at the 32. So call it a 14-yard kick unofficially. And that's where RCC will get a chance. Well, you wanted a touchdown, Jeff? Here's an opportunity for one, is Tom Kraft, the head coach for RCC, getting into it. Wow. So a flag comes in, and there were too many men on the field. Illegal substitution for RCC. I was wondering why Coach Kraft was getting heated here. And they're going to mark it. It's a 5-yard penalty, which gives Saddleback a first down.
Wow.
So mark the ball up to the 23-yard line for Saddleback, and they'll tee it up again on offense. Jeremy Cooper split out to the near side, and the near slot for Saddleback is Zachary Roebuck. Nash on the option. Pitch to Wimmer. Up to the 30-yard line. Moorer in on the tackle for RCC. Purcell was there. And here's the dump off to Wimmer. And down he goes at the 30.
And they're going to throw it. There's the penalty flag. Too many guys in the field. They just called it. Another late call.
There's one, isn't the back judge, we were joking about the back judge last week.
Yeah.
I believe it's the back judge's job to count the players. And if there's a violation, the flag comes out from him. Now, it's early. Now, remember, it's been a weird kind of offseason for RCC. They had 2 3-week pauses, one in the spring and one in the summer. In fact, when they played Long Beach City that first game, Jeff, they only had 9 days of practice.
Wow.
Full practice before that first game because of a couple of stoppages and some issues.
And they weren't allowed on campus for the longest time as well.
Empty set as Wimmer spins out in motion. Nash to throw, and down he goes. Coming up and making the play, Cade Miller. Miller out of Diamond Ranch. Outside linebacker for RCC. Sacks Nash for a big loss. Back inside the 30-yard line. Nice pressure coming from Randall Turner. Turner out of Norco, but then there's the finish by Cade Miller. Under 2 minutes to play in the first half. Clock moves. Picked off. DeMarco Moore. 10-5. Touchdown Tigers. Pick 6 for DeMarco Moore, the freshman from Arcadia High. Had 4 tackles last week, really stepping up into his role. Some petty larceny there. 6 points for the Tigers.
Great play. He jumped the gap and knew exactly where he was going. He was going directly to the house, but no flags on the play here. No, there is a flag.
About a 37-yard interception return from DeMarco Moore. It was before the game. We were down on the field doing our open, Jeff, and I saw there was just a very quiet man sitting there on the sideline. It was RCC defensive coordinator James Cook, who we've talked about a lot over the years. And I just went over to Cook and I said, Coach, I just want to let you know, I know all the headlines here about how many points they score, and rightly so, but I love watching your defense play because he's done such a masterful job last year. And obviously it goes there as well as defense picks up the team for the first touchdown of the game. And Chavez splits the uprights to make it 16-3. So how about this? 3 field goals and a defensive touchdown, just like you drew it up, Jeff Goring.
Exactly. Man alive. Neither one of these teams can get it going offensively, but both defenses have been phenomenal in this game.
You know, Tom Kraft, when we spoke, pointed out to me, he goes, hey, if we can get pressure with 3, we're in pretty good shape because he likes his secondary. They're deep, linebackers and set. They're pretty deep. They got 10, 12 guys that they can kind of interchange back there. And he mentioned DeMarco Moore. He said, he really wasn't a guy we expected to step up like he did, but he has. That's why he's starting. So Samuel Hicks and Jamari Farrell back deep for Saddleback as Chavez tees it up. This is returnable from the 8. This is Farrell trying to turn the corner about the 30-yard line. And how about Chavez being the one? Does he bump him out? That bumps him out.
That's number 23, Jamari Farrell, with that kickoff return for the Bobcats. 31-yard return.
There's Arbino, so it wasn't the kicker. Lovewin Don Willis, the freshman from Narbonne, bumps him out at the 38-yard line, and that's where Saddleback will start with 91 ticks left in the first half. Nash gives to Wimmer running left. Out of bounds.
Let's see if they go up to the hurry-up offense. Remember, they get the ball here in the second half.
Right.
See if they go to a quick offense here.
Stop for Riverside. Second and 7 for the Bobcats. Get in there, man, like you're supposed to.
Salahuddin late to get in. The throw, and what a hit there. Incomplete. The intended receiver was Bowden Groen, and a flag comes in. That was DeMarco Moore lighting him up.
Yeah, they're going to call it targeting, I believe.
So even though Salahuddin came in late, he's able to get a little bit of pressure and off the fingertips, and there's Moorer with the play. Flag was thrown. Let's see what they do. They're still talking about it at the 40-yard line. 16-3, RCC leads here. A minute 19 to play in the first half. So they're going to call targeting. Oh, that's an ejection. That's tough.
Wow.
If you want to go letter of the law, Jeff, that's probably the right call. Did he go helmet to helmet? Because you're always going to call back. I don't know if there was any intention there, but, man, you lose the player the rest of the game. That's tough. That's tough. 15-yard mark off. They move to the RCC side of the field from the 44. Here's a little comeback screen, and Oyewale there for the hit up to the 44-yard line, right to the line of scrimmage. Yasir Berry on the reception for Saddleback. Second down coming up. One timeout left for the Bobcats as the clock ticks down under a minute to play. Nash steps up. Down he goes. I believe that was Purcell. Incomplete. Purcell with the pressure. Salahuddin also in there, but here's Purcell coming. He just got rid of it, did Nash. Intended receiver in the area was Darius Maxwell. So third down coming up. Nash loads it up, looking downfield. Incomplete. A flag's going to come out. Berry was running down the field with DeMonte Peoples, and they're going to get a personal foul on RCC.
This could be another ejection here. It's going to be, see if it's a late hit or they're going to call targeting. Let's see if we can watch it here.
Yeah, to me it's just a late hit. He's not targeting. Jalen Carter with the little bump with the shoulder. Now, more importantly, forget the time part of it. That's a first down.
Yeah.
And I'm of the belief that had we not had the earlier targeting, maybe you don't throw that flag. But I understand why. I mean, you don't want to get out of control.
Exactly.
So even though it goes against RCC, I understand what the officials want to do here. I want to keep this game under control. You don't want to get too physical too early, especially these are two pretty good teams. Timeout on the field. RCC calls this one with 29 seconds to play in the first half. 16-3, the home team on top. First home game in the title defense for RCC. RCC comes in 2-0, Jeff. Mount San Jacinto, I guess they're awarded a forfeit. That was Labor Day weekend. And then last week on the road at Long Beach City College. And Long Beach City always plays them tough.
Always. I mean, that's kind of the rivalry. It used to be the Orange Empire Conference at one time.
I guess it still is, but football is not, right?
Yeah, football. It's I believe it's the national.
It's SCFA something, and they redo the divisions. Because Saddleback, up until the last configuration, Saddleback and RCC were in the same division no longer. First and 10 line is the 29. Saddleback with the ball. They trail 16-3. Nash to throw. Here's pressure. Looking downfield. And a flag comes in there as well. Devontae Davis-Smith will get whistled on the interference. The intended receiver was Zachary Roebuck for Saddleback. So some penalties helping Saddleback on this drive. So it'll move to the 15. It'll be a first down from the 15. Now, if you're Saddleback, you got to take advantage, right?
You definitely do. You got to try to go for the score here and then get the ball right back in 22 seconds.
You want any points you can get.
Exactly.
You can get the 3, but obviously the 7 is what you're looking at here, especially when you get the ball back to start the second half. If you're James Cook, you just want to get off the field with no more than 3. Yasir buried to the top of your screen. First and 10 from the 15. Thrown to the outside. Complete at about the 10-yard line to Jeremy Cooper. Cooper, the sophomore from Carlsbad High in the San Diego area. No timeouts left. Well, because RCC called the last one. That's the last timeout now. Saddleback exhausts their last timeout with 7 seconds. So you can run one play to the end zone, probably a pass, and then you got to go kick the field goal.
You got to go back to those place kickers.
Reminds me of Oklahoma, Boise State, 2006 Fiesta Bowl, 2007 Fiesta Bowl. A little Statue of Liberty play here.
Right, yeah.
Get a look at Tom Kraft. James Cook, the defensive coordinator for RCC, he's in the booth to our left. Wonder what he's cooking up there. RCC has won 8 of the last 9 meetings between these two teams, dating back over the last decade. Pretty good rivalry. They've met in a couple of playoff and bowl games as well, Jeff. Saddleback, a very storied program. Mentioned already, 3 national titles for them. They live basically in the top 25. Second down from the 9. Can get a first down inside the 5, but not enough time. Nash throwing. Incomplete. Back to Cooper on the outside. Nice job by Nash just trying to make a play. His receiver was there, but couldn't quite wrap it up, and 1 second remains on the clock, and here comes the field goal team, Connor Grace. So Connor Grace will kick out of the hold of Dylan Widner, the punter. About a 26-yard field goal. He's already hit one today from 27. Here's the kick. Wide left. That's the end of the first half, with the RCC Tigers leading this one 16-3. We were joking around about ball control. What did you think in the first half?
It was punt, defensive-minded game. Where both of these teams, are notorious for their offensive skills, we didn't see it that first half. It was all defense and all kickers.
Couple of explosive offensive teams, a 16-3 lead for RCC, going to the locker room, and Ricardo Chavez still standing out as the MVP in the first half, and then a defensive touchdown for RCC is where we're at right now. We'll step away for the halftime festivities and come back with the second half for you. Title defense begins at Wheelock Stadium for RCC. They lead the Bobcats of Saddleback College 16-3. Jeff and I are back for the second half.
Engine 1 AMR, respond with RPD for a traffic accident with injuries. In 1234 Main, cross of Columbia, 2 vehicles involved.
Each year, the Riverside City Fire Department responds to 40,000 emergency calls.
431.
And the men and women of the Riverside Police Department drive Code 3 every day.
We need your help so you know what to do when you see emergency vehicles.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right. So help us help you.
We need you to pull to the right.
The Riverside County Transportation Commission has partnered with California Operation Lifesaver to educate Riverside County residents about how to be safe around trains and railroad tracks. Here are 3 safety facts you need to know. First, trespassing on train tracks is not only dangerous and can lead to serious injury, it is also illegal. Second, you may not always be able to hear a train coming, which is why it's important to always stay off and away from tracks. And finally, it can take a train up to a mile to come to a complete stop. If an object or person is on the tracks and the train can't stop in time, unfortunately, a collision may occur. Now that you're the expert, you can help us spread the word by sharing these important safety messages with your friends and family. We thank you for practicing rail safety.
We are proud of the Riverside Police Department's tradition of integrity, service, and excellence. RPD officers are disciplined, well-trained professionals who always lean forward to make our community safer and more livable. We are always looking for mature, educated men and women who want to apply their courage and judgment to serve the people of Riverside. If that's who you are, we want to talk to you.
My name is Melissa Olmos, and I'm a driver operator in the Department of Refuse for the City of Riverside, and I've been doing this for 4 months already. I really enjoy it because this job is not like a routine, so every day is different. So I'm assigned to do the bookings. The residents call to the city to be serviced, and these items is large furniture, mattress, and appliance. The residents, they have 2 times a year, and these items, I put it in the back of the packer, and the packer crashes and compact these items so I can take it to the dump. My favorite part of the job is driving the truck. Since I was younger, my dream was to be a driver. And now that the City of Riverside gave me this opportunity, I really enjoy it. I'm really proud of what I do because when I go to the residents' houses, I see the faces, they're happy because we're picking up the items they don't want anymore. So I try to get in here because this is a better job for me with a better stability. And I wanted to because I want to set a good example for my 2 daughters that I have. One of my hobbies that I have is go hiking. I like the outside activities like camping, and I also enjoy riding motorcycles. If I have to describe my job in one word, it will be it's perfect.
our very first building of a little free pantry. We are building a little free pantry in our community. It will be one of the 26 throughout Riverside that will help fill the gaps of food scarcity here in Riverside. Data is telling us now that 1 in 6 families are hungry. It's about 44% of adults and about 50% of children that are hungry here within our own neighborhood, in our own backyard.
Because of the pandemic, there's a lot of hunger out there. There's a lot of families in need, and we hope that this will act as a bridge until families are able to get the food that they need. I think that there are always those times where we are living paycheck to paycheck and we need just a few cans of something to get us by. So these little pantries will serve in that capacity, and we're really excited to see something that will help families in need.
And this has been a wonderful collaboration with the Riverside Mutual Aid Network, IEHP, here at Sandals Church, and the City of Riverside. So this has been a fantastic opportunity for community members to step up and to fill a real void in our city, which is food insecurity. So the idea is that if one of these free little pantries in your neighborhood, you could stock it as frequently or as infrequently as you want to. And the idea behind it is that when people have extra food, it doesn't go to waste.
These pantries are just kind of the first step, right, for reintroducing neighbors back to each other, getting folks involved in taking care of each other again, and just strengthening those community bonds that Riverside is so known for. Because things like food drives and food distributions, they're really good, but they only help folks in that moment of need. And we wanted to create something that would continue giving back 5, 10, 15 years from now, and really allow the community to get back into taking care of each other, instead of maybe relying on, just government or nonprofit structures to kind of take care of them.
If others want to follow suit, they can apply at riversideca.gov/cares as an application, or they can email us at neighbor@riversideca.gov to receive an application to host a little free pantry in their neighborhood.
Engine 1 AMR, respond with RPD for a traffic accident with injuries. In 1234 Main, cross of Columbia, 2 vehicles involved.
Each year, the Riverside City Fire Department responds to 40,000 emergency calls.
431. And the men and women of the Riverside Police Department drive Code 3 every day.
We need your help, so you know what to do when you see emergency vehicles.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right. So help us help you.
We need you to pull to the right.
The Riverside County Transportation Commission has partnered with California Operation Lifesaver to educate Riverside County residents about how to be safe around trains and railroad tracks. Here are 3 safety facts you need to know. First, trespassing on train tracks is not only dangerous and can lead to serious injury, it is also illegal. Second, you may not always be able to hear a train coming, which is why it's important to always stay off and away from tracks. And finally, it can take a train up to a mile to come to a complete stop. If an object or person is on the tracks and the train can't stop in time, unfortunately, a collision may occur. Now that you're the expert, you can help us spread the word by sharing these important safety messages with your friends and family. We thank you for practicing rail safety.
We are proud of the Riverside Police Department's tradition of integrity, service, and excellence. RPD officers are disciplined, well-trained professionals who always lean forward to make our community safer and more livable. We are always looking for mature, educated men and women who want to apply their courage and judgment to serve the people of Riverside. If that's who you are, we want to talk to you.
My name is Melissa Olmos, and I'm a driver operator in the Department of Refuse for the city of Riverside, and I've been doing this for 4 months already. I really enjoy it because this job is not like a routine, so every day is different. So I'm assigned to do the bookings. The residents call to the city to be serviced, and these items is large furniture, mattress, and appliance. The residents, they have 2 times a year, and these items, I put it in the back of the packer, and the packer crashes and compact these items so I can take it to the dump. My favorite part of the job is driving the truck. Since I was younger, my dream was to be a driver. And now that the city of Riverside gave me this opportunity, I really enjoy it. I'm really proud of what I do because when I go to the residents' houses, I see the faces, they're happy because we're picking up the items they don't want anymore. So I try to get in here because this is a better job for me with a better stability. And I wanted to because I want to set a good example for my 2 daughters that I have. One of my hobbies that I have is go hiking. I like the outside activities like camping, and I also enjoy riding motorcycles. If I have to describe my job in one word, it will be it's perfect.
Today is our very first building of a little free pantry. We are building a little free pantry in our community. It will be one of the 26 throughout Riverside that will help fill the gaps of food scarcity here in Riverside. Data is telling us now that 1 in 6 families are hungry. It's about 44% of adults and about 50% of children that are hungry here within our own neighborhood, in our own backyard.
Because of the pandemic, there's a lot of hunger out there. There's a lot of families in need, and we hope that this will act as a bridge until families are able to get the food that they need. I think that there are always those times where we are living paycheck to paycheck and we need just a few cans of something to get us by. So these little pantries will serve in that capacity, and we're really excited to see something that will help families in need.
And this has been a wonderful collaboration with the Riverside Mutual Aid Network, IEHP, here at Sandals Church, and the City of Riverside. So this has been a fantastic opportunity for community members to step up and to fill a real void in our city, which is food insecurity. So the idea is that if one of these free little pantries in your neighborhood, you could stock it as frequently or as infrequently as you want to. And the idea behind it is that when people have extra food, it doesn't go to waste.
These pantries are just kind of the first step, right, for reintroducing neighbors back to each other, getting folks involved in taking care of each other again, and just strengthening those community bonds that Riverside is so known for. Because things like food drives and food distributions, they're really good, but they only help folks in that moment of need. And we wanted to create something that would continue giving back 5, 10, 15 years from now, and really allow the community to get back into taking care of each other, instead of maybe relying on, just government or nonprofit structures to kind of take care of them.
If others want to follow suit, they can apply at riversideca.gov/cares as an application, or they can email us at neighbor@riversideca.gov to receive an application to host a little free pantry in their neighborhood.
Engine 1 AMR, respond with RPD road traffic accident with injuries. 1234 main cross of Columbia, 2 vehicles involved.
Each year, the Riverside City Fire Department responds to 40,000 emergency calls.
431.
And the men and women of the Riverside Police Department drive Code 3 every day.
We need your help, so you know what to do when you see emergency vehicles.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right. So help us help you.
We need you to pull to the right.
The Riverside County Transportation Commission has partnered with California Operation Lifesaver to educate Riverside County residents about how to be safe around trains and railroad tracks. Here are 3 safety facts you need to know. First, trespassing on train tracks is not only dangerous and can lead to serious injury, it is also illegal. Second, you may not always be able to hear a train coming, which is why it's important to always stay off and away from tracks. And finally, it can take a train up to a mile to come to a complete stop. If an object or person is on the tracks and the train can't stop in time, unfortunately, a collision may occur. Now that you're the expert, you can help us spread the word by sharing these important safety messages with your friends and family. We thank you for practicing rail safety.
We are proud of the Riverside Police Department's tradition of integrity, service, and excellence. RPD officers are disciplined, well-trained professionals who always lean forward to make our community safer and more livable. We are always looking for mature, educated men and women who want to apply their courage and judgment to serve the people of Riverside. If that's who you are, we want to talk to you.
My name is Melissa Olmos, and I'm a driver operator in the Department of Refuse for the City of Riverside, and I've been doing this for 4 months already. I really enjoy it because this job is not like a routine, so every day is different. So I'm assigned to do the bookings. The residents call to the city to be serviced, and these items is large furniture, mattress, and appliance. The residents, they have 2 times a year, and these items, I put it in the back of the packer, and the packer crashes and compact these items so I can take it to the dump. My favorite part of the job is driving the truck. Since I was younger, my dream was to be a driver. And now that the City of Riverside gave me this opportunity, I really enjoy it. I'm really proud of what I do because when I go to the residents' houses, I see the faces, they're happy because we're picking up the items they don't want anymore. So I try to get in here because this is a better job for me with a better stability. And I want to too because I want to set a good example for my 2 daughters that I have. One of my hobbies that I have is go hiking. I like the outside activities like camping, and I also enjoy riding motorcycles. If I have to describe my job in one word, it will be it's perfect.
In favor of RCC. Tigers looking to go 3-0 here on the young season. Squared off against Saddleback. Saddleback last week, or 2 weeks ago actually, They were all over Glendale City College 58-12, but the defense of RCC has held them in check. The big star tonight, Ricardo Chavez, and then a 40-yard interception return by DeMarcus Moorer in the first half. That's the difference in this one. Saddleback starts the second half with the football. Jamari Farrell back deep for Saddleback along with Darius Maxwell. This is Maxwell will feel at the 1. Maxwell, the Floridian. Direct slant to the 20, and there he goes down. Met with the hit from RCC. Patrick Rodriguez out of Roosevelt High School. Played for our friend Tommy Leach, and at the 21-yard line, Saddleback starts it out. So a 20-yard return for Maxwell. Started his career at Hastings College in Nebraska, NAIA school. Averaged 21.5 yards a return last week. That was a 20-yarder right there. So call it the 22. 1st and 10. Nash with the give. Farrell trying to bounce it outside, maybe back to the line of scrimmage. And that front for RCC, they've really been stout tonight.
Oh, man, they have been one step ahead of that offense, and they are funneling everything to the inside and taking care of business for sure.
Give it a 1-yard pickup, so 2nd and 9 coming up for Saddleback. Nash looks, Nash throws over the middle. Complete. Let's see what they rule it there. Caught the ball at midfield. Incomplete as he couldn't hold it. That was Roebuck. Take another look, Jeff.
Man, great hit here. I mean, he saved the day. If it's not for the hit, that is a completion.
Hit on the play for RCC. Devontae Davis-Smith, remember, he was flagged earlier, so good job by him to just stay aggressive. 3rd down coming up. The line to get is the 33 on the Saddleback side of the field. Nash on 3rd down, looking, throwing. Intended for Berry, incomplete. On the coverage, DeMonte Peoples.
And there's the defense. I'm telling you, that secondary might be the quickest we've seen. Even better than, I think, than the national championship team.
Tom Kraft told me, hey, our defensive backs, I like them. They're really good. My only concern is they haven't really had a chance to play together much. They held up okay last week. But, you know, James Cook understands strengths and defenses, so he figured out how to use that personnel. I don't know if there's a coach at this level that knows how to use his personnel as well as Coach Cook. Widner gets the punt away, fielded at the 43. This is Ashley to the outside, to midfield, into Saddleback territory. Inside the 40-yard line, about the 35-yard line. They're going to say he got to the 30. Wow. So about a 15-yard return on the play. And good field position for RCC to start out this drive, Jeff. They lead this one 16-3.
Now they go with Bernie again here.
So Bernie back. He started the game in the first quarter, threw for 91 yards in the first half. Kinslow just straight ahead, dives forward to the 35, 4 yards on the play. In the first half, total yards for both teams, 114 total yards for Saddleback, 160 for Riverside. They had 32 yards on the ground, 128 through the air did the Tigers. 2nd down, Kinslow running left, dives forward, should have the first down to the 29. Leading the way was the big guy in the middle, Ed Riley, the freshman out of St. John Bosco. See, Riley kind of collapsed behind Kinslow as he dives, and, we talked about it in the outset. Coach Kraft very effusive in his praise for the big boys up front. All new players for RCC. First and 10, line is the 29. Bernie rolling right. Bernie throws, he's got a man. Touchdown, Tigers. Finds Jamal Houston. They hooked up earlier. That time they find Paydirt. Bud Bernie to Jamal Houston. 6 points for RCC.
Bernie had all the time in the world and found a perfect strike here in the corner. Bernie looking like the point guard.
3-year starter at Riverside Poly for both head coach Doug DeWitt and for head coach John Rice, and Chavez booms it through.
He just kicked it over Mount Rubidoux.
23-3, RCC on top. Bernie, 3,200 passing yards over his 3 years at Riverside Poly, 25 passing TDs, and nearly 900 rush yards, 852 rush yards and 9 touchdowns. And the stat that jumps out from last week is Bernie was the leading rusher against Long Beach City.
That's right.
So 23-3, 39-yard drive there for RCC. Just to note, DeMarco Moore had the pick 6. He was ejected for a targeting penalty later, so they'll be playing without him in the second half. DeMonte Peoples will slide into his spot, if I'm guessing right.
We left out our guy Yancey Dodson. Remember, Bud Bernie played for our guy Yancey.
That's right, for the basketball team.
That's right. He was a great basketball player. He was part of the best high school basketball game I've ever seen in my life.
But that's a live ball, dropped by Hicks. Hicks picks it up, trying to find some space, which he does. Gets up to the 25-yard line and is taken down by a cavalcade of Tigers just awaiting.
Our guy Yancey Dodson's watching at home.
Wearing a Hawaiian shirt, I'm guessing.
He better be.
The long snapper Francisco Canales and Wyatt McClure combined on the tackle there to bring down Hicks, and the offense back out for head coach Kerry Crabb. His first year as the head coach, but longtime assistant at Saddleback. Very storied program down there in South Orange County, Mission Viejo. 23-3, the Tigers look to be in control here. Groen in motion, resets. The give. That's Wimmer right into the right side of the defensive line for RCC. Not much doing there. Joshua Hatchett there with Chris Ballard. A couple of big boys up front. From the 25, 2nd and 11 for Saddleback. Nash to throw. Here comes the pressure. Gets away, gets rid of it, complete to Groen. Loses his helmet. Caught the ball at about the 29-yard line. Let's see where they mark it. Purcell was there. Ashley, check that, excuse me. That's not Ashley. They both wear number 7, but Jalen Carter there on the coverage. Flag comes in.
I think that's going to be a first down. I think they got the passer.
Well, that was the one thing about last week, RCC.
No.
They're going to take the penalty. It'll be second, and they'll do it over again, 2nd and 21. They did have, I think, 13 penalties last week in the game against Long Beach City. So that was the tough one. Yeah, 12 penalties for 134 yards, and they still were able to hold Long Beach City to 6 points. And this would be more impressive, obviously, because Saddleback rolled up 58 points against Glendale 2 weeks ago.
Holding them to 3 years so far. Pretty sweet.
You're an old coach. I want to discuss something with you after this play. 2nd and 20. Here's the pump. Here's the pressure. Wimmer makes the catch, and he's brought down by Cade Miller. 3rd down coming up. When you were coaching, when you're playing well, you want to keep playing, right?
Exactly.
So that was the unfortunate thing for Saddleback is they roll up on Glendale. They're supposed to play Mount Sac last Saturday, and the game postponed because of COVID protocols. And they're going to make that game up in October. But when you're playing well, you want to be rolling, particularly first-year head coach. He's not a new coach. He's been with the team, but, got the momentum rolling, and you want to keep it rolling as a timeout called on the field.
Yeah, you want to play as many games as you can if you're in the hot streak, for sure.
I mean, I think also it's funny when you're playing when you're not playing well, sometimes you want to keep playing as well. But when you're losing, that's sometimes when a week off can maybe help a little bit.
That's when you go
just for the sanity of the coach, right?
Well, what would happen with me if we were losing? I'd just go hide in a closet somewhere, and we wouldn't practice. And I would hope that nobody would notice I was gone. But yeah, there's nothing worse than losing and continuing to play.
You're pretty hard to miss, Jeff. Yeah. Like when a 6'8" guy just isn't there, usually somebody's like, whoa, where is that guy?
But I think
like Pep Fernandez can slip away and wait a minute, where'd Pep? Takes a while, but you leave a room.
Oh yeah, that's the only bad side about being giant. Yeah, there's other reasons too.
Third down. Line is the 17. Over the middle, incomplete, intended for Hicks. Carlton Johnson on the coverage for RCC. Fourth down, and here comes the punt team. Widner already, this is going to be punt number 6 for him. He's averaged 45 yards per kick, and he's kicked one 69 yards. So this one from the 17. Standing at the 46-yard line of RCC is Marquise Ashley. Ashley from the 43. 41-yard kick, and Ashley trying to turn the corner, and he can't. Holding him up was Juan Lua, and coming over the top was Mason Young on the tackle for Saddleback, and that's where RCC starts the offense. Near midfield. Still pretty good field position, Jeff.
Good field position, and I'll tell you what, they're getting in their stride. We saw Bernie in the last possession looked, he's been untouched for the most part most of the night.
41-yard kick, 2-yard return, and he's not been touched mostly because of the big boys up front. Anthony LaFrance, Ed Riley, Tristan Hayes, Alan Rennie, and Kyle Scott. Yep. Kyle Scott had to momentarily leave the game, and Brody Shafley came in and played admirably. 1st and 10. Bernie looking for it all. He's got Ashley downfield. Incomplete. Running step for step was Kyle Thomas with Saddleback. Good coverage by Thomas. He played at Aliso Niguel High down in South Orange County. Was a 3-year starter in high school. Had 3 tackles and a tackle for loss against Glendale that Labor Day weekend.
That's just good defense.
A little bit underthrown, but good coverage. If Kyle Thomas isn't good on the coverage, then Ashley can kind of maybe jump over him. 2nd and 10. 45 of RCC. Little delayed handoff up the middle. Got some space, does Connors to the 40 of Saddleback inside the 35. And a good pickup there. 19-yard pickup for Connors.
A little rhythm too.
And again, it's that offensive line. Look at the downfield block there. Great downfield block. One of the wide receivers, Kimani Quaid, the freshman, out of Churchill, Oregon. From the 36. Bernie looking for the home run. Incomplete. Corvin Fegans covering J.J. Tucker on the play.
Yeah, and there's a lot of chatter thinking that is a pass interference, but it's underthrown. You can't. It's really a tough call. There might be some a little pushing and shoving, but
hand fighting, and if you're not, if it doesn't change the play, you can do that. Vinny Fazio talks about that a lot. Connors up the middle, and he's an offensive guy. Connors with a nice little stutter step. Inside the 25, they'll mark him at the 22. Another first down, 14 yards for Connors, so he's rolling a little bit.
The last 2 series, they seem to get back in a little bit of rhythm here.
Connors now 7 carries, 53 yards.
Remember, Riverside had to. They've had to not play a couple games as well due to COVID.
Well, they had the forfeit. Matt Sanacino had to forfeit that opener. So this is just their 2nd game. Another delayed handoff to Connors. And he runs right into the hands of Timothy Jones, the sophomore out of Sierra Vista, Arizona, Buena High School. maybe 3 on the play. Clock continues to move here in the third quarter. 23-3 RCC leads. Second and 6. Bernie dancing, throwing to the corner. He's going to burn it. Third down coming up. This is where the game flipped last week when both lines for RCC kind of started to assert their authority late in the game against Long Beach City.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, it's just, you look at the size of these guys, they're huge up front. And they got to, their Coach Kraft teams are always in well-conditioned programs.
Tucker and Ashley to the near side for RCC. Get your way to the top of your screen. 3rd and 6. Bernie throws to the outside. Incomplete, intended for Getaway. 4th down, and you got Chavez coming out.
Of course. But this is kind of close. This isn't. I want to see 50. I want to see 60, my friend.
Well, if you're Tom Kraft, you take the bird in hand. Right?
Exactly.
You know you're going to get the 3 points. And listen, I mean, Tom Kraft has been around this game. He's seen it all. For him to rave about a kicker the way he raved about Ricardo Chavez, you knew this guy was a dude, the real deal. And he misses.
No.
Misses to the right on that one. 35-yard attempt, his first miss on the evening. So, Saddleback with an opportunity.
All right, is he still the MVP?
Yeah.
Okay.
For now.
For now.
I mean, I would split it between he and the offensive line.
That's true.
The big boys. I'd probably give a Talib Salahuddin a vote. Purcell would probably get a vote for me. Gilmore might get a vote. We haven't called his name a lot, but his nose has been around the football. From the 21st and 10, here's Farrell kind of grading some road in front of him and barrels to the 22. Second and 8 coming up. Farrell again trying that left side. TJ Patu with the tackle there, the freshman out of Tustin. Bounce back from the University of Colorado.
Boy, they are so tough up front.
3rd and 5 from the 25. Empty set as Farrell goes into motion there. Lofting it up. And what a grab. He couldn't hold it. He couldn't bring it down. One-on-one on the outside. That's Carlton Johnson against Samuel Hicks. Hicks went up and got it, but couldn't reel it in on the way down. 4th down.
Yeah, perfect throw, though.
Good throw and a good, Hicks getting to the ball was good, but Johnson with him step for step wasn't able to come down with it.
Another punt.
We've seen a lot of Dylan Widmer today.
We have.
Spent last year at Santa Barbara City College, although he did not play football. So obviously there was no junior college football last year, so we went kind of just for an academic experience up there. 2020 grad of Mission Viejo High School where he played football and he played soccer. That's a good punt.
Great punt.
And at the 41-yard line will be fair caught. 35-yard kick, no return. And RCC will turn it back the other way. 8:08 to play in the third quarter. They're comfortably out in front 23-3, but plenty of time. Saddleback's offense, they can turn it on in a moment. They're very explosive.
When you put up 58, you got to be doing something right.
I mean, it's also just kind of their legacy.
Yeah.
They've been an offensive machine. We mentioned Mark McElroy already. Been there 21 years. From the 41, it's 1st and 10 for RCC. Trips to the near side. Bernie's still in there.
You know, and talking about the national championship team 2 years ago, you know, they were an offensive juggernaut. Their offense, they're
520 yards a game.
Yeah, I mean,
49.6 points per game.
Their defense was outscoring you, is what it was. But we're looking at this RCC team now, and it might be the best defensive team we've seen here.
Lawrence Starks on the carry. Houston up top. The far top of your screen split out is J.J. Tucker. Here's Starks again. Starks being dragged, pulled down from the ankles by Mason Young, but still kind of managed to move forward for a couple of yards. Third down upcoming. Young, a freshman from Brighton High School in Cottonwood, Utah. Last 2 seasons, his teams went 18-4. Was a two-way starter his last 2 years at both wide receiver and defensive back. 3rd and 4, 2-by-2. Bernie looks downfield, incomplete. Houston wants a call, but he and Geshikin just got tangled up, I believe, on the sideline. 4th down.
Yeah, it looked like their feet just.
And we'll see Ricardo Chavez again. Back to return for Saddleback is Yasir Berry. Trying to get back to the D1 ranks. Mishit by Chavez, but it goes out of bounds at around the 20. See where they mark it.
He kicked that with his toes. Definitely tell he mishit that one.
See where they spot it. They're spotting at the 22. So about a 31-yard kick, no return. And that's where Saddleback will tee it up again. Hey, if you're the Bobcats, you can still get back into this one. You just need a quick score.
Quick score. Plenty of time in the third.
Throw to the outside. This is Berry off the completion, dancing. New quarterback in for Saddleback. This is Owen Easley. Easley, a freshman from San Diego, California. Prepped at Christian High.
And Carlton Johnson made that tackle by grabbing over the top of the guy that he was blocking.
3-yard pickup, 2nd and 7 coming up. Jeremy Cooper to the bottom of your screen for Saddleback. Give to Farrell instead. That's Anthodius Ashley. Up to the 27-yard line. Ashley, the sophomore out of Phoenix. Kylan Ross came in and made the play.
Bobcats can't get anything up the middle here versus Riverside right now.
It's kind of a replay of last week against Long Beach when the defensive line really controlled, particularly in the second half. They really controlled that game for RCC. Easily looking over the middle, complete to his big tight end to the 40-yard line, and he's decleated at the 43. Coming up and making the play for RCC was Devontae Davis-Smith. Bowden Groen makes the catch, the freshman out of Mater Dei. Had a catch for 12 yards on Labor Day weekend against Glendale. Was part of that 2018 Mater Dei State Championship team. And here's Anthodius again into RCC territory. Anthodius Ashley.
Oh, there's a late flag here.
They'll add 5 yards. TJ Patu apparently kicked at the ball after the play. I think he was just kind of frustrated with himself, and the official bought the flag in. So a first down to the 42-yard line of RCC for Saddleback. Bowden Groen with the big catch, the tight end.
I really like him. I think he's a pretty good ball player.
Jeremy Cooper split out to the near side. To the top of your screen, that's Yasir Berry. Here's the give to Anthodius. Ashley finds some space on the left side. Gets to the 40-yard line. I think what they've seen is Anthodius Ashley is their physical runner. So I think perhaps maybe his physicality is a better match for the guys up front for RCC. He's able to kind of make yardage through contact. Second down, here's Ashley again. He's got the first down. A flag comes in. Ashley down to the 25-yard line. See what the flag's all about. Came from the back judge. So he'll take the yardage on the play for Anthodius Ashley. And he's kind of been the answer for Saddleback. New quarterback in as well. Owen easily started this drive. He's thrown to the end zone. Nearly picked off, intended for Berry. Making the play for RCC, Samaj Williams. Williams, the freshman out of L.A., played at Cathedral. Beautiful football field. I don't know if you've ever been to Cathedral in L.A. It's in downtown. So if you stand in the end zone,
I've seen it. Yes,
the skyline of
That's
downtown
right.
L.A. is in the background. 2nd and 10 from the 26. There's also a Cathedral Catholic down in San Diego. Ashley pumps, puts some air under it. Did he make the play? He did not. Incomplete. Good help over top from Carlton Johnson. That was Williams again making the play for the defense for RCC. 3rd and 10 coming up from the 26 for Saddleback.
And they're going to have to throw the ball here again, Gazal.
Bobcats, they just need a score to get them turned around, get them going a little bit. Ashley throws incomplete. Berry lost his footing, was trying to get back up. Johnson on the coverage for RCC, 4th down. So it looks like they may be trying a field goal here.
They are.
This is Justin Kaplan, the sophomore from San Diego, transfer from Albany, Torrey Pines High product. Interesting football lineage we'll get into. It's a 43-yard attempt. So Kerry Crabb trying to get some points. Young Mr. Kaplan puts his foot into it. On the way. And it's good. 43-yard field goal for Justin Kaplan. So his father, Scott Kaplan, was a kicker. Also, he played at the University of Pittsburgh back in the late 80s, early 90s. His coach, well, he had 2 coaches, but his first coach at Pitt, the guy who recruited him, was Mike Gottfried, whose nephew I used to work for at UC Sun, Mark Gottfried, the longtime collegiate basketball coach.
That's right.
Uncle Mike. And he had some interesting teammates. One of his teammates at Pitt, meaning Scott Kaplan, was Louis Riddick, who's now a commentator on NFL.
Wow.
Played at 89, 90, and 91. His Pitt team, they have a distinction. They played, and I think they won it, but maybe they lost it. They played in the last Blue Bonnet Bowl. I think it was like in 88 or 89.
The last Blue Bonnet Bowl.
I think they changed the name to something.
Yeah.
So.
And he's also he's a radio guy.
He is.
He is.
He is. So Daddy Scott probably very proud of Justin on the field goal. 43 yards makes it 23-6. 4 minutes to play in the third quarter. We always say this, plenty of time here because you never know how this football bounces the way it's shaped. Now, RCC has been fairly dominant, but you can get something going here. Saddleback's defense has been all right, too. He also played for Paul Hackett.
He did.
Yeah, Paul Hackett was the head coach at Pitt as well in that time period. Here's the return by Connors. Dives and is submarined at the 20, maybe up to the 22-yard line. 1st and 10 coming up.
Coach Kraft talking to his guys. Looks like Bernie's going to stay in.
Sense of urgency here on both sides. Obviously, if you're Saddleback, you just want to stop and get the ball. But if you're RCC, I'm sure what Coach Kraft is saying, hey, let's move the ball and let's keep the clock running.
Exactly. Let's get this game over with. Play smart football. Don't turn it over. Let's eat some clock.
Elijah Bennett, the setback. Bernie gives to Elijah, dances inside, dives forward. Grabbing him around the ankles was Matthew Poking, sophomore from Dana Point, Dana Hills High, down there in South Orange County. What's the Dana Hills mascot? Do you know?
I do not.
The Dolphin.
That's a good
Isn't
one.
it?
That's a good one.
If you'd played for Dana Hills, you would have been Dolphin of the Year every year, Jeffrey. 2nd and 6 from the 26 for RCC. Play action. Bernie looking. Complete to Ashley. Ashley to the 35 before he's taken down. James McDonald was there. 39-yard pickup on the strike. And, man, when we saw Bud Burney in high school, he was an RPO QB. I mean, he had a good arm, but Tom Kraft told me his throwing has improved. Look at that. Hits it on the dime right in front of that painted tiger visage at midfield, and McDonald wrestles him down at the 35. Burney with the give to Bennett, and down he goes. Sniffing out that play from the beginning was Angelo Rooks. Rooks from Northampton High School in Gaston, North Carolina.
Gaston?
He actually played in the game in Mission Viejo in 2019 against RCC, game the Tigers won. He had 3 tackles in that game, did Rooks.
Yeah, and talking about Bernie, though, remember, at Poly, he was usually running for his life. And here we get to see the quarterback he was destined to be.
4-yard loss. 2nd down. Bennett totes it. Finds a little bit of a seam to the 30-yard line. Upended by Sanders, 31 call it. 3rd down coming up. Well, that's what Coach Kraft talked about. Is like when he got here, he was an athlete.
Yeah,
and he could throw a little bit, but he was really, really complimentary about how much Bud had worked to improve his throwing, how much a better thrower he's become. Development's a big part of it. 3rd and 6 coming up. Houston to the top of your screen. To the far slot is Ty Moore. J.J. Tucker to the bottom of your screen. In the near slot, Marquise Ashley. Throw down the field by Burney. Looking for Ashley. Incomplete. Kyle Thomas on the coverage for Saddleback. 4th down. And Ricardo Chavez will come out. This will be a 48-yard kick.
He's got to redeem himself.
He's made 3 today. 53, 54, 27. Missed from 35. Out of the hold of James Odom. Chavez. That looks good. Right down the middle.
Yeah.
26-6. What a performance tonight by Ricardo Chavez. Tom Kraft wasn't kidding.
No. And you know how much I love kickers. This is a dream game.
You love kicking. You know, it's funny because head coaches generally don't. To hear a guy like Tom, he's an old school, offensive guy,
old ball coach,
and he was really. He said, "Wow, Now part of it is back on the staff for RCC. Daniel Barledge, one of the assistants, is back on the staff for RCC. He had been on the staff and then left to go be the head coach at Valley View while his son, Jacob played.
Yeah.
He played here at RCC and now is at Nevada. And Ricardo Chavez is a Valley View guy. And he'd been, he didn't come right to RCC because he graduated in 2018.
Yeah.
And now he's here, and it's good they found each other.
I'm a little, Dan Barledge, Coach Barledge, his entire family has CIF championships.
That's right. His wife is a volleyball coach.
Yeah.
And his daughter played volleyball. 4th, here's the kickoff coming from Chavez. Booms it deep. Here's Hicks. Over the 30 to the 36. Hicks tackled the 36-yard line. Flag comes in on the play.
Let's see the play. This can be a block in the back. I saw it.
Imari Coates from Moreno Valley, Canyon Springs High made the tackle. And so it'll be against Saddleback. It'll move back. 1:21 to play. So the clock dwindling time now becoming a factor if you're Saddleback trying to get into this, this one.
Honestly, they're going to have to score quickly, and they haven't been able to do anything really offensive. This defense is, I'm telling you, we've seen a lot of RCC teams.
In a comeback, you're thinking about a quick score, but you're not counting on it, right?
No.
But you have to get the score, and then you hope you get a bounce to get you back into it.
And you have to be aggressive. You got to go for the big strike, too.
So Easley stays in at quarterback, and Anthodius Ashley back at running back, and he goes the right side, maybe a yard or two on the play, the more physical runner. You know, I wonder if Andrew Wimmer is hurt, because Andrew Wimmer wasn't doing badly.
No.
Patu with the initial hit, and he breaks through that, but it throws him off balance enough to where he goes down. TJ Patu, the freshman, La Habra High School, started at Colorado. Easily throwing to the outside. That's complete to Hicks. Not much. Flag on the play. So that'll put it up to the 37-yard line, Jeff. And well, you know what Tom Kraft's going to be crowing about in practice.
Of course he is. Knock it off, guys. They're going to be doing, what are that, bear crawls? And
wow, 11 penalties in the first half. They had 12 in the whole game against Long Beach City. So somebody's going to be running. Into the final minute here in the third quarter. The give to Anthodius Ashley, but the middle clogs up over the 40. Actually, the line of scrimmage is the 41, so he'll get two more. 43. And that likely will be the last play here in the third quarter with the Tigers leading 26-6, man down on the field. I know you always like this segment of the broadcast. You want to talk about some prominent alumni from Saddleback College?
Are there prominent alumni?
There are. Well, a lot of them are sports.
Okay.
Well, let's start with the ones that are not sports related.
I like the non-sports related.
You watch movies. You and the wife watch movies. You ever see Backdraft?
What are you talking about? It's one of the greatest movies ever.
Directed by Ron Howard. Greg Wyden, UCLA alum, wrote the screenplay for Backdraft. He had been a volunteer firefighter. That's how he got the idea for the script.
And he was a Saddleback
He's a Saddleback guy. He might have taken a screenwriting class at Saddleback College.
Backdraft is a fantastic movie.
Not an alum of Saddleback, but a prominent personality from Saddleback. The old ball coach, the old basketball coach with the saddle shoes, Bill Mulligan.
Oh, you know, he's literally was one of our dearest family friends.
I did not know that.
Billy Mulligan Jr. was a longtime sports writer, is in the Hall of Fame here at RCC.
Well, his dad coached there too, right?
His dad was also a basketball coach here. But, yeah, one of my dad and one of our closest friends in the world.
2nd and 7 coming up, and a timeout on the field. We'll have another break. That's not a timeout. It's the end of the third quarter. So the third quarter expires. So we can keep doing the Saddleback alumni piece.
Keep going. Yeah, Billy Mulligan, my favorite coach of all time.
Okay, so in line with Bill Mulligan, so the next two will be easy for you.
Okay.
Played at Irvine and then later played in the NBA. A big man.
Oh, I already know who it is. Kevin McGee? No.
Kevin McGee never played in the NBA. That's next.
Right. Okay. He played in the NBA. Johnny Rogers.
Big Bob Thornton. Bobby Thornton played for the Knicks.
That's right.
When I was a little kid, I remember watching the Knicks, and then I got to Irvine as a student. Hey, Bob Thornton played here.
And Bob Thornton's brother was Billy Mulligan's assistant coach for a long time.
That's right. Yeah, you mentioned the great Kevin McGee, the greatest player ever to play at UC Irvine.
He is one of my all-time favorite players of ever. I mean, he was just
passed away sadly in a traffic accident.
He did. But remember, he was part of that Olympic team that was that they didn't go.
Oh,
remember, it was the boycott year, and he was going to be a starter, and that was going to be his coming out party. He was an Olympian.
Flip the field, 2nd and 7 from the 44 for the Bobcats. Owen Easley in at quarterback, the third quarterback employed by Coach Kerry Crabb. He's dancing around to the right side, and then he'll go down.
All I want to know is, do you have the notables for RCC too?
There's too many notables. We talk about them every week, though.
We do. I have a lot of favorites, though. Lots of favorites from RCC. I could go on for hours with the the notable alums.
Chris Ballard really put the pressure on there.
You know, yeah, the biggest celebrity is our director, Scott Brocious. He's the most notable.
Biggest. He's 170 pounds, that guy.
Yeah.
No, we love Scott. We love working with Scott. He's always great to us. Chris Ballard with the tackle, the sophomore from Arlington, Texas, Mansfield Timberview High, and Coach Kraft talked about him very glowingly as well. Putting the pressure on, 3rd down and 14 coming up, timeout taken on the field. But you mentioned Kevin B. How about some other sports? How about the great Bill Kenny, who played quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs in the 80s, maybe into the 90s? He went via Cal State Fullerton to the major leagues. Tim Wallach. Mark Grace.
Mark Grace is the Saddleback guy?
Yeah. According to their website.
Is it the same Mark Grace? I hope.
Played for the Cubs.
That's right, yeah.
And the Diamondbacks. 3rd down coming up. Anthodius Astley, the lone setback. Nash back in at QB. Here comes the pressure. Throws it as he is hit and picked off. Carlton Johnson at the 45. He's going to go in to the house. Carlton Johnson, pick 6. Touchdown, RCC.
That was a jump ball. Nope, there's the penalty.
Larceny from Carlton Johnson from the Rancho Verde High. It was like he's back on the track in Moreno Valley running the 100-yard dash there, 100 meters.
Holy smoke, that was lightning fast.
I mean, it didn't even look like he was trying, and he was outrunning everybody. That's how fast Carlton Johnson is.
He's flying.
Effortless. That could be the coup de grace at this point.
You think?
The defense just swarming, and we're joking with James Cook, and wow. 2 straight weeks. And even Coach Kraft said, Long Beach, they're always tough. They always play us tough. But from a talent standpoint, they're not the Long Beach teams that we've played in the past. They'll get there, but they're not there yet. Whereas Saddleback, Nuke LaLoosh, right? They announced their presence with authority against Glendale. So they'll enforce unsportsmanlike excessive celebration will be enforced on the ensuing kickoff. And here's Chavez, who's had a big night.
You know what would have been great if he'd have ran and jumped into the band.
That would have been cool.
He did
I think
band surfing, like crowd surfing.
Yeah, I don't think COVID protocol would allow that at this point.
That's why you got to carry your mask in your back pocket.
What a move would that be? Put it to you score a touchdown, put a mask on, dive into the crowd.
I'm telling you, somebody, if guys, you're watching this game later on, I want to see this young man jump on a tuba.
I always like when the players would direct the band, start conducting the band.
Yes.
That was always pretty cool.
That would be a great one too.
Yeah, Carlton Johnson with the pick 6.
He went the wrong way.
33-6. And you coach, so you understand this. When you talk to coaches, I was surprised because probably 80% of what we spoke of with Tom Kraft was stuff he was happy with. That's generally not the case.
No.
And I attribute it to being, it's early in the season. But he did, he said, hey, we got a lot to work on. And he didn't, it's funny because he didn't mention the penalties. I saw that on the box score. But he did say, hey, there's things we need to get better at. Now, one of the things that we talked about, so you notice if you look at the field, it looks fine, but doesn't look quite as pristine as you'd think it would look for the opening game. It's because the Tigers have been practicing on the game field for the last couple of weeks. A couple of reasons for that. We'll get into it. Farrell back along with Nino Remigio. Farrell with the return. Jamari Farrell still on his feet at the 35. And down he goes. Penalties, flags on the play, tackle on the play, Nathan Bolton for RCC, and we'll sort it out. Isaiah Garcia also there for RCC. The freshman out of Grace Brevin, where he played for Josh Henderson.
Huh?
Josh Henderson, formerly head coach at Grace Brethren previously was at Aquinas for many
right.
years and played for Dick Bruick at Fontana.
Personal foul, illegal wedge block on the return team. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
That's another penalty on Saddleback, which I find interesting. They only had 3 penalties in the first half. A lot of laundry today, Jeff. But, I mean, it's early in the season, I guess, huh?
But not, I mean, it's pretty typical for community college football. I mean, we've called games that are 4+ hours.
Right.
Due to
True.
penalties.
This one kind of clipping along,
Yeah, it's
though. I'm
pretty-
surprised. Well, we started at 6, though, so. Going in motion. This is Wimmer back into the game. Slams up to the 15-yard line.
Yeah, I don't have to pay the babysitter as much tonight if we're going to be home early. The wife's at Hamilton right now listening to some Lin-Manuel Miranda music.
Pardon me. Are you Aaron Burr, sir?
Sir? Am I a bad guy? Am I a weirdo that I listen to it in the car?
No, why not?
Very hip.
It's catchy. You got to
I'm
admit it's
very hip to
catchy.
the show tunes. I can't wait for the new West Side Story coming out.
From the 15. Wimmer again. Burrows to the 20. Tackle on the play for RCC. Darius Wallace. New guys getting into the match. Now he's ridden down. Actually, I should give credit also to the guy who wrote him down from behind, Joshua Hatchett. Third down. First down to the 25. Easily sidearm slinging it. Caught by Jeremy Cooper, short of the first down. He'll bring up 4th.
We have a pretty good crowd here tonight, and everybody that is here, every single person in here is vaccinated.
It's a pretty good crowd for a Saturday, Jeff. I was wondering about that, yeah, because there's a new procedure.
Yeah.
And you have to fill out, there's a criterion you got to fill out to even be eligible to come on campus, and they make you show your status. Yeah. 4th and 2 from the 23. It's a punt coming up. Back deep to receive Ty Moore for RCC. Makes the fair catch at the 41-yard line. So,
and remember,
36-yard kick, no return.
There was some concern that Riverside wasn't going to get to play their home games on campus.
So I had that discussion with Coach Kraft, and they were looking. Actually, his main concern seemed to be the practice field, which I guess there's some issues with the practice field, and I'm guessing, and I'm just speculating right now. So they win the national championship, and then the pandemic happens, and nobody's allowed to come and work, right? Because we're all staying at home.
Yeah, you couldn't be on campus.
And there was probably some maintenance to be done because the practice field right behind the main stadium here at Wheelock, and probably wasn't able to be maintained. 12 to 14 months. Exactly. Those things add up. From the 41. Odom looking down. He's looking for the home run ball. Incomplete. Intended for J.J. Tucker. 2nd and 10 coming up. So James Odom back in, the freshman quarterback from Grossmont High. Was 9 of 14 through the air in the first game, 54 yards against Long Beach City. He was also a starting point guard for his high school team, Jeff.
But who was better, he or Bud?
Connors. Burrowing up to the 45, 4-yard pickup there. Well, I'll say this. Odom started as a freshman for the varsity. That's pretty impressive.
That is pretty good.
Now, it's, you can compare San Diego basketball to Riverside basketball. I don't want to get into that argument.
I do.
Of course you do. You want to get me in trouble whenever you can. 3rd and 6.
I think they should play one-on-one at the end of the season. We film it. Remember they used to have the horse games on ABC.
Connors running behind that offensive line, gets to the second level and goes down at the 40. 15-yard pickup, move the sticks. I remember years as a kid, it's like mid-'80s. They used to have alumni games, and all the guys would play.
Yes.
I remember watching like a UNC, UCLA alumni game from Pauley Pavilion. Like Michael Jordan was playing,
Yes.
and Reggie Miller was playing. It was wild. Marked at the 41, a 1st and 10. Connors the setback. Split out to the near side is Gitchaway. He'll turn and give to Connors. He'll veer left. Now cut back inside, and down he goes. Tackle on the play made by Drew Hernandez, the freshman out of Carlsbad, for Saddleback. He gets up from the bottom of the pile there. 2nd down coming up.
It is weird though. You know, I was a ball boy when I was about 8 years old here, and I did it for years. And now I get to call games. I coach basketball here at RCC. It's what a great time.
Odom pulls it down. Now he'll loft it down the field. Incomplete. 1-on-1. J.J. Tucker down the field. Brian Sanders on the coverage for Saddleback. That's why I call you the governor, my friend. The governor of Riverside.
Did I tell you last night I was at North High School and somebody yelled the governor to me?
It's a thing. It's a thing. That's great.
I'm a governor of the city.
Because we took so long to figure it out because you're friends with Rusty Bailey, so you didn't want to be the mayor. But I said, you can be the governor of Riverside. That's pretty cool. Trips to the near side for RCC. J.J. Tucker to the top of your screen.
I don't think I'd get recalled either. I don't think so.
I don't think you would. There'd be some loudmouths trying to do it, but you'd survive. Delay a game, or did they call timeout, or was it delay? So RCC got the timeout, and Tom Kraft will go and teach. And Coach looks good. You're right. Got a chance to kind of maybe rest up during the pandemic. And
his mustache looked pretty nice. Great stash. Hey, you know, we were talking about trash earlier, and we need to bring this up again. It's Free Dump Day, baby. Caltrans is partnering with the city of Riverside to collect the public's trash and unwanted items on Saturday, September 25th. From 9 to 3, please. No hazardous waste, no paint, no solvents, batteries, home remodel or demo waste, electronics, flammables. It's a lot of things. Petroleum products, aerosols, or compressed gases. All loads must be tied or secured or they will not be accepted. The event will be held at the Caltrans maintenance station located at 1091 Everton Place in Riverside. That means I can't throw anything away because all the things I have are those things. Just paper and cardboard and my old mittens.
3rd and 6, play action. Odom will run it. And down he goes inside the 35. Angelo Rooks on the tackle for Saddleback. So 4th and 4 coming up. Field goal from here would be about 50 or 51.
Do it.
I think they want to keep the clock running, though. 33-6. Ricardo Chavez has had a day, and we'll see him again.
Here he comes. Here he comes.
Appointment TV. He's already made 2 of 50+.
He's kind of like a celebrity. Should get his own. I'm telling you, go up to the bookstore and buy number 10.
Look, there's no. This is the punt team. They're going to have him punt.
Come on, Coach Kraft. I want to see a 60.
Trevor Romaldo drops back to receive. He's going to go for the coffin corner.
Look at that.
Wow. That's why they had him out there. They say, hey, put one in the corner. You already did a 50-yarder. That's old hat. Let's see if he can put one out, and he absolutely does.
I'm telling you, man. He's going to be dating movie stars in about a week.
37-yard kick, 37-yard net.
You know, Jennifer Aniston said last week she wants to date a regular guy. But she can't date him because he's not regular. He's a superstar.
I mean, all kidding aside, I saw UTEP's got a coach and a scout in the stands tonight. I mean, you got to be impressed with young Ricardo Chavez.
Sign him. Or just go straight to the pros.
I mean, no, it's becoming important. You're one of the. If you're not, Alabama, or if you're not Notre Dame, if you're not one of those schools that blows everybody out, you play close games.
You need them.
The kicking game. I mean, even those schools need a good kicker, obviously, but they just become so important. 4th quarter.
He's a rock star.
8:58 to play. Owen Easley back at quarterback for Saddleback, and the flag comes in. Now that I know you're so tight with the Mulligan, I want to know Bill Mulligan's stories. Because he used to, when I remember at Irvine, he actually used to recruit the Inland Empire a lot.
Well, he recruited me since I was a freshman. He was really just one of those, a wonderful guy. But I will say this: I used to take his son Billy, who was in a wheelchair. He was cerebral palsy. Great rider though, and I would take him in the van. I'd go over to his house. His caretaker would load him up in the van. I'd drive down to almost every UC Irvine game, and I'd get to sit at the end of the bench, and he was recruiting me. It was great.
So who was that? Was Von Lutzow on that team yet?
Pardon?
Jeff Von Lutzow, you remember him?
I remember Von Lutzow, yeah.
I'm trying to think of that era of UCI basketball. Because Mulligan, obviously his RCC background.
It was like Wayne Engelstadt and those guys. That
was a little before, though. That was the Scott Brooks era.
Yeah.
Here's the give. I believe that's Ashley for a couple.
Remember?
No, instead that's Farrell, Jamari Farrell.
Remember Scott Brooks and I had a battle.
You don't like each other?
No, I don't. I don't like Scott Brooks because he fought me when I was like 15 years old and he was a grown man.
But you were large, so he couldn't tell that you weren't a kid.
I had this little tiny guy on my back.
Yeah.
And I do remember Bill Mulligan getting mad at him, too.
2 yards on the play. Here's Farrell again right up the middle. Finds some space. Over the 15 to the 17-yard line. Tackle on the play made by Miles Martin for RCC. First down for Saddleback.
I did sit in a hot tub with Jerry Tarkanian and Bill Mulligan at the same time.
Farrell breaks the first tackle. Few more yards, he's up to the 25-yard line.
I think that's probably my best Bill Mulligan story is I was a young guy, and I got to hang out with Jerry Tarkanian. He came over to Mulligan's house, and I got to sit in a hot tub and listen to them say who was a better coach at RCC.
Isaac Garcia in on the tackle there, but a flag on the play. So when I first got into the business when I was a young guy, I had a couple interactions with Coach Tark, and for whatever reason, he loved me. He always took care of me. He introduced me to Tommy Lasorda at the Brent Center.
He did?
Yeah. I remember a friend of mine who I went to college with. She was from...
That penalty is declined.
My dad used to take me up to UNLV every summer, and we would hang out with Tark. And he let me one time, I don't know if I should say it. Well, he's long past. I can say these things. But I got to get into the UNLV equipment room.
Nice.
And they said, take whatever you like. So I took Spoon James. I don't know if you remember Spoon James. I took his basketball shoes he gave to me and a bunch of shirts.
Kenneth Cervantes, the injured Tiger, off the field. 2nd and 2 coming up from the 26. Little reverse action coming up. And there's the hit, but down he goes at the 30-yard line. Carrying the ball, Nino Remigio, the freshman from Mater Dei. Gets the first down up to the 30 on the trickeration. Nino's older brother, Nico, played football at Cal. Also played at Mater Dei for Bruce Rollinson. 1st and 10. Line is the 30. Under 8 minutes to play. Jamari Farrell again. About 4 for him. Wow, he's doing a good job. Getting up from the bottom of the pile for RCC is Garrett Beach. Talib Salahuddin also in on the hit. 2nd and 6. Easily rolls right. Salahuddin in pursuit. Launches it down the field. That's intercepted. Picked off at about midfield. Making the interception, Samaj Williams. Williams with the pick. Number 3 today for RCC. 2 pick sixes, and now Williams, who nearly had one in the end zone, picks this one off. Salahuddin applying the pressure and just playing the outfield there, picking it off at the 46 of RCC and returning it into Saddleback territory inside the 40.
How impressive is this? If RCC can hold and keep them from scoring a touchdown, I mean, that's a pretty impressive.
And James Cook, he deserves every bit of credit, the same amount of credit. And I'm sure Coach Kraft gives it to him, every bit of credit that Coach Kraft deserves for this team's success. That's Lawrence Starks. Starks up to the 23, an 11-yard pickup. They'll move the sticks. Will the Tigers? And it has been pretty impressive. I mean, Saddleback, pretty good football team, and Riverside more or less has had their way with them tonight.
They really have in defense. I mean, just stellar defensively.
J.J. Tucker to the top of the screen. Odom gives to Starks. Starks skitters inside the 15. He's down there. Garrett Colburn was there along with Angelo Rooks on the tackle. 9-yard pickup, so they're marked at the 13. Starks again. Caden Robertson on the tackle for Saddleback. Sticks move up. 1st and goal for RCC. Mentioned Saddleback been pretty successful. They've gotten to the postseason 8 of the last 9 seasons. So 1st and goal from the 8. A penalty was flagged on Saddleback. RCC declines. Starks runs right into Rooks at about the 5. 2019, after losing to RCC, they lost to Canyons in the first round of the SoCal Regionals. 2018, a 7-4 team, played Bakersfield in the Patriotic Bowl. Regional playoff game in 2017, they lost at Fullerton. Starks, they said he lost the ball?
Yeah, fumble on the ground, they said.
Touchback, wow.
Here's the replay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Yep.
Dropping on the ball was Trevor Romaldo, dropped on the football for Saddleback, and the touchback ruled. Good call. Saddleback football at the 20. 2015, a 10-3 team. They made the state final. They beat RCC and Long Beach City College, lost to the City College of San Francisco. No postseason for the Bobcats, who were then the Gauchos in 2014. Played in the Citrus College in the Beach Bowl in 2013. They lost to Mount Sac in the National Bowl in 2012. And they lost to RCC in the Golden State Bowl in 2011. 1st and 10. Easily slinging it. Incomplete on the far side. Intended for Jeremy Cooper. On the defense, Bryce Tate for RCC. Tate out of Tempe, Arizona, McClintock High. (33-6). RCC pretty much in control. Game was close until the half. Second half, RCC pulled away. They have not scored an offensive touchdown yet, though. Easily dancing down at the 21. Third down, need to get to 30. Easily. Puts it up in the air, one-on-one down the field, incomplete. Intended for Jeremy Cooper again. Bryce Tate again on the coverage. One offensive touchdown, actually. I was incorrect. There was one. Jamal Houston had the offensive touchdown. 2 pick sixes and 4 field goals, though.
You think we'll see a 60-yarder this year?
Tom Kraft said that in practice he's hit a 60. You know, now coaches will say that, but he had him trot out for a 54 and a 53 today.
And he cleared it pretty well, both of them.
Fair caught by Ty Moore. And RCC takes over with 5:02 to play. The rest of the way here, you just want to stay healthy, right, Jeff?
Got to play. You got to, get guys in maybe that haven't played, and just play smart.
Next week, Golden West comes into Wheelock. It'll be Jeff and Nick Rice on the call for that one. J.J. Tucker splits out to the near side for RCC. Odom gives to Bennett. The hit on the play. Matthew Poaching from Dana Hills High. Now, Tom Kraft says, he's fine with 2 QBs. We played 2 QBs in 2017. We played 2 QBs in 2019. But he also likes Jordan Barton, young QB from Damien. He said, Jordan could get some action as well. Obviously, I don't think we'll see him tonight. But Coach did mention his name when we spoke this week. Bennett up the middle. Bennett surges down at the 45 of Saddleback. Stop made on the play by Jace Hunter, Capo Valley product for the Bobcats.
And for Riverside, you're just going to try to get those, move the sticks a couple times.
Keep the clock running.
Yeah, exactly.
Odom also some pretty impressive numbers at Grossmont, and he's one of those kids we were talking before the game. Here's the give to Bennett on the left side, and he's bent back immediately. A cavalcade of tacklers there. First man to him was James Huffman, the freshman from Shorecrest High in Shoreline, Washington, Pacific Northwest. So he was one of those guys, 2019 graduate, who kind of falls between the cracks because of the way the recruiting works. Or I think 2020 grad, because you played in 2019 and then then all of a sudden the pandemic hit. So if you're one of those late guys, you couldn't be a late signee. Bennett again bottled up. Third down coming up. Huffman there near on that play had some help as well. I think Poaching was there as well. Because he, in high school, 4,100 yards passing, 38 TDs over the course of his career, and rushed for over 1,000 yards and 18 TDs. Already mentioned he was a starting point guard for his high school team as a freshman, and also sported a 4.6 GPA. So he obviously had some options.
4.6.
Yeah. Bennett. Good play by Odom there. Kind of almost mishandled the snap, but regained control and handed it off. Kyle Thomas on the tackle for Saddleback as the clock ticks down. So they were talking when he was, he's playing for Grossmont. Some Ivies were in on him. It's a little different situation with them. Some schools on the East Coast, but when the pandemic blew everything up, a lot of options dried up, and we were having a nice talk with the new AD at RCC. Although Jim Woodward was here, by the way.
I saw him.
I got to say hi to Coach, and talking about how it's really affected basketball, in terms of the glut of the transfer portal, but that extra year of eligibility now all of a sudden has kind of made everything a little bit haywire.
Yes, it has.
So Chavez back on to punt. Back to receive is Berry for Saddleback. And now RCC calls a timeout with 1:58 to play in the fourth quarter. Thanks for joining us. The home opener for RCC, their national title defense. They won it all in 2019. Of course, in the state of California, we did not play junior college football with any junior college sports actually last season.
Yeah, nothing. It was nothing.
Barren. It was tough. It was like the ice planet Hoth. Not much going on.
I can't wait to see what the head basketball coach at RCC looks like. If Kraft looks as relaxed, well, he did at the first half, at the beginning of the game. I can't wait to see Phil Matthews. Phil Matthews is another intense guy.
Line is the 39. Chavez sends the kick back to the 5. Berry with the return, and he gets hit. So about a 34-yard kick and a 1-yard return unofficially. Tackle on the play, Kenton Allen. Allen, a freshman linebacker out of Vegas, Silverado High School in Vegas. So 1st and 10 for Saddleback. Give running outside for Saddleback, St. Fleur. St. Fleur, San Diego kid out of El Cajon. And Nicholas Hill checks back in at quarterback. We saw him briefly in the first half. He's out of Irvine, Beckman High, which our friend Ken Mashinsky was the head coach there for a couple of years. Had a couple of good years there. Did Coach Mush.
Hey, look at the tuba guys walking behind the stadium. It's kind of
it's ominous, yeah.
That's a very ominous.
St. Fleur, the El Cajon product, pounds up to the 10. Clock continues to move. He's a Christian high school product. 3 carries, 38 yards against Glendale on the 4th of September.
Where are those guys going, Gazal? We need the camera on the tubas walking behind the field. I don't know where the heck they're going. It's marching down Riverside.
It's like The Walking Dead, except it's the walking brass, right?
Tubas.
3rd and 4. Throw to the outside is complete. Making the catch for Saddleback, John Jennings. Jennings, the freshman from Allen, Texas. Coach Krabs got him from everywhere. 1st down.
There they are. Look the march of the tubas. It's just the funniest thing I've seen in a long time. Look at those things. That guy needs to shine his right there. Come on, band.
Coach Gorham coaching him up.
Come on.
Over the middle, incomplete. Pulls the trigger, does Nicholas Hill. On the defense was Sakil Aka, the freshman from Lake Elsinore. Intended receiver for Saddleback, Simeon Martin, tight end out of Capo Valley High. 2nd and 10. Trips to the far side for Saddleback. Option. Up to the 20-yard line. Keeping it is Drew Nash. Jason Mitchell, the big fella, he's a Cajon product, in on the tackle. Final moments of this one. Throw to the outside, incomplete. Intended for Remigio. On the coverage for RCC, Lovewin Don Willis. Clock stops, 19 ticks left in this one. Pretty impressive performance as it's 4th down. The punt team will come out for Saddleback. Widmer has been pretty good today for the Bobcats.
Yes, he has.
Ty Moore, the freshman from Vegas, back deep. Short kick from Widmer. It's going to bounce and just be down at the 36-yard line. So he'll get a credit for a 16-yard punt, and that'll be it. They'll let the clock tick down. I guess we'll let the clock tick down, but they won't hear because there's still 9 seconds on the board, and they'll have to run a play. Will the Tigers. Pretty impressive, Jeff. 33-6 against what looked to be a pretty good Bobcats team looking at the film when they played Glendale.
Well, I thought we were going to have a shootout. We had the greatest defensive team I've seen RCC come out with in a long time. One offensive score, and the rest has just been phenomenal defense. And
James Cook can coach a little bit. The defensive coordinator for RCC is Odom takes a knee, and that'll be it. Now the clock will run out, and the final will be 33-6. RCC knocks off Saddleback. They go to 3-0 on the year, Jeff. The Bobcats will have their record even at 1-1. And to me, 3 things stand out. And you can tell me what you think. Line play, both sides, for RCC, defense and offense. Special teams, obviously.
Yes.
Ricardo Chavez And then the defense, James Cook's defense.
You hit it directly on the head. And I'll tell you what, they're going to get better and better and better. I'm sure Coach Kraft would love to see his offense score a lot more points. And that will change. We know that just because that's who he is. But, man, tip our hats off to this great defense.
I mean, if I had told you at the outset that RCC was going to score one offensive touchdown today, what would you have thought?
I just said they would have lost.
But you got 2 pick sixes, Ricardo Chavez, and just a stalwart effort by that defense across the board, and a 33-6 win over Saddleback. So RCC goes to 3-0 with the win. Back next week on Riverside TV, it'll be Golden West will be the opponent. Running down some final numbers here before we say goodbye. Defensively, let's look at the total offense for Long Beach, 225 yards. Riverside, although it was kind of a slow game, nearly 400 yards. It was 359. The only offensive touchdown was Bud Burney, completed Jamal Houston for 29 yards. That came in the third quarter. The other 2 TDs were pick sixes in the fourth quarter and in the second quarter. DeMarco Moore had one, and then Carlton Johnson had one, and that was it. The 2 touchdowns, and then, of course, Ricardo Chavez, 4 of 5 on field goals. He had 1 from 54, 1 from 53, 1 from 23, and 1, I believe, from 43. He missed 1 from 35.
Dang it. Almost perfect, but he beat him by himself. The leg beat him.
Dean Connors, 80 yards on the ground. Jamal Houston had 61 yards receiving. And kickoff returns, Lawrence Starks had 2 returns for nearly 30 yards each. And therein lies the rub today. 33-6 the final. Penalties, though, that's the one thing they're going to want to correct, Jeff. 14 penalties for Riverside for 141 yards. That comes on the heels of them being penalized 13 times last week against Long Beach City College.
Yeah, you got to clean those up if you're going to defend your title, because it's only going to get tougher.
So I guess the subscript from the first 2 games, James Cook doing a great job with the defense, allowed 6 points against Long Beach City and then 6 points tonight against the Bobcats. Final thoughts, Jeff Gorham.
Just, it's a complete opposite of what we saw in, 2 years ago when they were just dominating offensively. But I'll tell you what, this defense can definitely dominate themselves, and I think they're going to be very, very tough to beat this year.
Home opener tonight from Wheelock Stadium. The home team crowd goes home happy. RCC with a 33-6 win over Saddleback. Until next time, for Jeff Gorham and our entire award-winning Riverside TV crew, my name is Ghazal Hassan. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.